Yeah, so then she said, no, you're not supposed to put it at that end of the donkey. So, yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah, no, dude, we're under attack. Shh.
Oh, okay.
I think we're live. Oh.
Hey, hold on. I need to get some more beer before I start the show.
Okay, yeah.
There's no way I'm doing this sober.
Not many people can. Not many people can. The channel's under attack. Under attack, I tell ya.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Whoa! Well, there I'm demonetized. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not monetized for the 90th time. Demonetized!
What is this monetization you speak?
Going down. Oh, that was fantastic. You ever got like a burp and it's like just sitting there? It just won't come out? Just asking for a friend.
This sucks.
Biggles! Zach's come on the show! Wait a minute, that's me, isn't it? What? I really got to burp.
Damn it, Beavis.
Reuse content.
Maybe that's what it is. All these intros.
The intros are supposed to be like part of the okay.
It's Saturday. What do you say we dump a big dump? What?
What?
That's what.
I got to burp so bad.
Dump Saturday.
Just got to burp so bad. Welcome, everybody. It's Saturday night.
Demonetized.
No!
Oh, you're gonna have to work at Foot Locker a little bit longer now.
A little bit longer, boys and girls. That's me. I'm Sporking News. This is a demonetized channel for the third time. And it's Saturday night. It's the dump. Welcome, everybody. Jane, when did you get here? How are you?
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you guys?
I'm just kind of surprised. I'm just kind of surprised that Jane would ever show her face on this poverty channel. That obviously can't get demonetized. So.
Can't get monetized, man.
Well, technically, she hasn't shown her face yet, so...
Well, that is true.
Yeah, technically.
That is technically.
It's probably the best.
Let's talk Technically blues. Technically, it's gonna spork ya.
Wait.
What?
I can. Technically.
Gonna spork ya.
Sporking News.
Okay.
Hey, at least the Seahawks lost. So.
Yeah, who won today? Seahawks?
The Niners won. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's the bad news. But the good news is the Seahawks lost. So.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan
The
of the
Seahawks
Seahawks.
lost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who they play? I'm out. Once the Patriots are out, I stopped watching 3 weeks ago.
Well, I just said they played the Niners like 10 seconds ago. But,
No. Who else is in it, though?
Oh, the Chargers and the Jags are the other one.
Are they playing right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep us informed.
Who's left?
Do. You got Miami, Buffalo, the Giants, Vikings, Ravens, Bengals, Cowboys, Bucks.
Hey, welcome, Jacob.
Isn't the Super Bowl in a few weeks?
3?
March, isn't it?
Yeah, no, 4 weeks because they take a week off before the last game.
I thought it was the first weekend in March or whatever. Yeah.
Really? Is it that
It's like
long?
second week of
It
February.
used to be like the first week of February. Well,
Is it?
last
I
week.
thought it was a little later.
Yeah, not anymore. They only take that 1 week, so it's about second week of February. How are you? Society reviews, Jacob. How are you?
I'm all right. I mean,
It is February 12th. My bad.
Yep.
The last movie that I watched wasn't very good, but I'm recovering. I'm still slowly recovering.
I'm really sorry.
Oh,
about
I
that,
saw a
buddy.
great movie this week.
Oh,
What
good
was
for
it?
you.
What was it, Mr. Grant Gregory?
Oh, well, yeah, I recently just watched, it's a movie called House Party, and now I think I fully understand the Black experience. It was a fantastic one. I'm talking about the new one, not that shitty old one.
No.
Yeah.
So 2023.
It was god awful.
I'm going to send you a package in the mail. Don't open it. That's all I'm going to say.
Actually, I gotta say right here to Zach's, I actually 4 people watched my video that was unlisted. So someone checked it. Tom Connors is here. How are you, Tom?
I'm here against my will.
Yes, you are.
I was told if I didn't show up, the puppy would die. So if
you don't show me
Wick, so proof that the puppy's fine by the end of the show, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, that'll happen when it happens.
And I did see a new movie this week, so I suppose we'll talk about that a little later too. But it was not House Party.
Oh no, it was not.
You're missing out.
Oh, you mean you watched a good movie?
It was all right.
Yeah, I would like to hear about it definitely. Because I did not watch much.
I still think I can lock it in as probably worst 3 movies this year, no matter what comes out now. I think that's almost a guarantee.
As I said in my review, if there's 5 movies this year that are worse than House Party, we are truly fucked.
Wow, that bad.
So
huh?
it makes House Party 4 look like House Party 3 is what you're saying.
It may be one of the worst movies ever. Like, I don't care what you could put House Party 8 up against this movie, and it's still worse.
I wasn't
than
kidding.
That
there
film,
is
like.
a House Party 4. Most people don't realize it. It was a straight-to-video movie that was completely unrelated to the House Party franchise, but it just happened to be a movie about 2 young black men having a house party, so they just slapped the House Party name on it.
Are you serious, man? I never even knew that.
I'm dead fucking serious. It was like those National Lampoon's movies.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
This one is basically the same premise, except for they added LeBron James and Illuminati occultism. So there's that.
Wait a minute.
I mean, they were obviously kind of ripping off House Party originally, but But what about the Illuminati? Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, there's actual a whole third act that evolves around the Illuminati and satanicism and whole kinds of fun stuff that you would find in a comedy.
Remind me who the producer is again.
Oh, this guy called LeBron James. Have you ever heard of him?
Oh yeah, you mean
My
King
Hairline?
LeBron?
Yeah,
My Hairline. I remember that part.
Hairline. Hey, Culture.
Oh, look who's fucking here.
Culture's here. Hold on.
You see here, this is the secret. His hair is actually coming from the hat.
Wow, that's a really nice hat, Culture.
Got that from Quarter Black Garrett.
Oh, you did?
Do you have one of those?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, I'm gonna brush my hair.
I bought you that hat. Why don't you ever say thank you? Yes, I did.
He did not.
Ask your wife.
I don't believe you.
I know. It hurts.
Why don't you believe your wife?
Yeah. Oh, wow. This just in. Culture doesn't believe Culture Boss.
That's not true.
That just happened, guys.
I said I didn't believe you.
No, that just happened. And I was like, I was so sad for her.
We have it on the record.
Because she's such a sweet human being.
You're showing all your messages.
We can see your DMs, by the way.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Oh, I don't care. I'm sending Biggles a link. So what? Everybody else doesn't like me.
Only feet. Why are you sub to them?
Wait, who doesn't like you?
Do you have porn?
What? I don't. What? Why is there porn on Twitter?
I just was curious if you had a dick pic. That's all.
No, not. Well, I mean, not mine.
I wanted to compare. I mean,
yeah, not my pick. It's not fair.
I should probably change my
bookmarks. There we go.
Talk like that.
So we got
Not being fair. How's the monetization going?
Oh, maybe we could talk about that for a minute. Let me remove that.
You're being a dick, Grant.
Hey, wait. Yeah, it was kind of rude. By the way, apparently cursing is bad now. Just FYI.
When did that happen?
Curse you.
Sometime
Just
around
in
November.
general.
No, in YouTube they don't like
Cursing
it.
is bad on YouTube?
Yeah, they're not fans.
Oh,
hey, Biggles!
So I can confirm Sporking did not actually buy the hat. He had to put out for it. That was the only way they would let him get the hat.
Okay, wait. Now I've got to put my hat back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only way to do it.
We are.
You want to talk about shills? Let's shill this thing.
We are 3/4 white right now.
We are.
Yeah. Wait, weren't we always 3/4 white?
At least. Well, isn't quarter black 3/4 white? Yeah, Jane.
Well, at least you don't look like yin and yang like me and Jacob do. I mean,
she can hang out.
I just take my glasses off, and that's like.
Yeah, look at
Wow, it's salt and pepper.
It's like the Negative Brothers. Salt and pepper. I tell Fatal J he's my photo negative brother.
Dude,
y'all are so similar. Like that's just
it's sad, but he just has a bigger channel.
Yeah, well, and he's so great, man.
He's so much better than me.
Oh,
he's monetized too.
It's true. Yeah, he's got monetization.
You know what I don't understand is Andre actually likes Scott's voice, and I can't figure it out.
Why he does?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love Andre. He's such a handsome human being.
Andre has got good taste.
He does. I have one of those.
I did tell him what kind of person Scott was, though. That was a sad day.
Yeah. We're supposed to lie about this stuff. Who's that?
We're never gonna get him on.
Under Armour.
That's Under Armour, yeah.
Oh, you're
American
selling
flag.
out to America Under Armour.
America.
What about RK Outpost?
I got one of those too. Wait, I got this one.
I got Welcome to the Rebellion too.
I got
if you want to chill, I'll chill.
I'll start chilling. Give me.
Yeah.
Oh no, not you, dude. You're the shill
I'm
king.
not grabbing a fucking hat. I don't care. I'm being
If
lazy.
Under Armour wants to pay me, I can
Here's
wear this
Ryan's.
hat. Or if the LA Kings want to also pay me, I can wear this one too.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not gonna wear it for free all day, but if you want to like drop a couple dollars, then I can do this one as
proposal.
well.
They might do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wait a minute. So wait, should I ask Quarter Black to sponsor me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, I can do that.
Everybody's bald butt culture. Yeah, he has a weave.
Making money off of this stuff.
Yeah.
Find your moment.
We do. We need to.
Jane is clearly suffering from male pattern baldness too. So
she is not. Jane's got beautiful hair. Stop it.
I got hats.
Wow. Wow, you don't mess around, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was going to get more hats, but
The only way a woman suffers from male pattern baldness is if she's a
I got
slave
these too.
to the sexiness of it.
What? I don't even know what that means.
Who just said
like
what?
That better not have been a alopecia joke.
I know ladies with alopecia.
Will Smith's gonna.
You better keep his wife's name out of your mouth.
Keep my motherfucking wife's name out your motherfucking mouth.
Yeah, you better watch
Kick
that
your
shit.
ass.
That was
He
such
coming
a
at you.
weird moment. Golly gee.
I'm going to, okay?
Lupa Peanut. What's her name again?
Lupa Peanut. Yep, you nailed it.
You know,
No.
Lupa Peanut.
Shut up,
You know,
dude.
you know, it'd have been funnier.
She's so hot.
You know, did anybody actually watch the best moment of the Golden Globes with Eddie Murphy? Like,
Yes.
that was the only
Yeah.
only
He was
bit of
on
it
it.
worth watching.
Oh yeah, hold on. I
He
got a
won the
bookmark.
Cecil- Oh, you got it? Okay, go ahead and play it.
All right, hold on. Let
What's
me
happening?
just get that. There we go. All right, and we're gonna add it. Okay, and let me start it over. Okay.
I'm sorry if I jumped
There
ahead
is
here.
a
No.
definitive blueprint
I love this.
that you can follow to achieve success, prosperity, longevity, and peace of mind. It's a blueprint, and I followed it my whole career. It's very simple. There's three things you do. Just do these three things. Pay your taxes, mind your business, and keep Will Smith's wife's name.
I just love it. Okay, he gets so into it
I'll
right
let you
there.
know.
You know what would have been
Oh,
funny
so
is if Eddie would have been like, and now
didn't
that I got
censor it
this.
over here.
What?
They didn't censor it over here.
You heard that just now?
Yeah, they didn't censor the initial Will Smith rant over there in your side of the world.
Wait a minute. What?
Sporking fact.
Dude, I'm doing it.
The Aussies don't care about foul language.
Why? How many clips do you have?
I got to do stuff to make it so not everything. What is it again? Is repetitive or whatever? Because they say all my videos are repetitive.
I don't even know.
They say videos are repetitive.
Yeah, what was it again, Grant?
Yeah, so repetitious content. Basically, everything looks the same and it confuses poor people who use YouTube, so they don't know the difference between your videos. Oh, and also, the main reason he got done was because he was reading articles that he did not own.
Like,
articles.
people like, I don't know, bounding into comic articles. Yeah, they nailed me for that because they weren't my articles.
But that doesn't make sense.
Makes
They're probably my articles.
Yeah, so if you're one of these channels and you get demonetized and you're reading other people's articles, you won't get monetized again. It's their policy change. They snuck in underneath everything. So good luck.
They're just looking for ways not to give you money. This is like a $2 trillion company, Google, and they're doing everything in their power to not pay you to be on here.
Well, but it's also, I think part of it too is that they know that sometimes journalists, so-called, write really stupid stuff that we make fun of, and that may be what they're trying to stop.
Well, not only that, remember, they also, not only did they reject your monetization for the third time, but they also throttled your channel after you applied for a monetization. So not only you're not getting paid, but you're going to get less views because your account's been throttled twice.
Yeah, it was pretty bad too. There's a drop of like 11,000 views down to what, like 1,000, and then down to like 60. It's just disgusting, and it's not because of the shorts.
Scott, you got to make friends, right? So what you do is you go out and you say California's in a hole, and then you make all these friends.
Or you could just find some. I can't say that on YouTube. Yeah.
So we can't read articles anymore?
No, apparently not.
I don't read,
or at least ones written by me. You're not allowed to read anything that I've written. Maybe you can read something written by John, but not mine.
I read. I actually love being able to just react to articles. I don't have to read them. Just go, this complete fool said blankety blank, and you know what? They're 100% wrong. You know, it's just whatever.
I'm pretty sure if you read the Daily Beast articles, you wouldn't get rejected.
Well, I have to tell you, nobody's reading the Daily Beast, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, there's a reason.
They're going to sell that thing, right? That's Barry Diller selling that. Just selling the Daily
Could the Saudis buy the Daily Beast too? Can they just buy everything we don't like?
They're working on it. Did you intentionally try to come in and like stir up a kerfuffle in my stream the other day, asking me about Disney and the WWE?
Oh yeah. That was good times.
I'm like, Jacob, what are you doing? I keep saying, they were supposedly the front runner, but then the Saudis came in and, dropped their wallets on the table.
Yeah, but what happened is that you have these people, especially in the pro wrestling world, who like to call themselves journalists, who come out and they write all these nonsense reports. So now they're running with the story that Disney is actually the front runner to buy WWE. And it's funny, like listening to like your show and Tom's show, hearing all these stories about how Disney's basically having severe money problems, and listening to these other non-journalists talk about
shit.
Yeah.
And not only that, what would they really want it for? They've done nothing. Every boy franchise they've bought, and they've turned into a girl franchise. And last time I checked, the WWE and wrestling in general basically had almost as much or more of a female following than they did male following anymore anyway, especially since they turned into soap opera wrestling.
Yep.
Well, and here's the weird thing. They had two big giant sports franchises that they owned. They had the Los Angeles Angels and the Mighty Ducks, and they sold both of those, and that was under Iger. I'm like, WTF?
They don't have money to be buying jack shit right now.
No.
Well, think about it like this too. It's like the growing price tag right now, at least the starting price tag for WWE, somewhere about $5 billion. So with a bidding war, you're probably looking at about $6 billion to buy this thing. Can you imagine any world where Disney actually pays more for the WWE than they did for Star Wars?
What's their annualized revenue?
WWE's revenue is probably somewhere about $1 billion, but that's because of their TV deals. But when you actually look at their profit, I think they're only somewhere around like $150 a year. So if they were to lose one of their big TV deals, that number is going to plummet.
Well, they're in the process of renegotiating, right? That's what the whole point is, selling before they have to renegotiate these televised deals.
Yeah.
So if they were to renegotiate, those rights are worth probably north of what they're getting now, pretty substantially, but not Apex level. So, gosh, I really wish I understood the way the media did that. But in other businesses, they'll take your annualized revenue plus the estimated value of your corp, and they'll come up with an algorithm to figure out how much your business is worth. Yeah. But if you look at if you look at what their value is as far as market cap valuation, I think the Saudis are willing to pay probably the top premium of about $9 billion, and I don't think you walk away from that deal.
because none of the other like Comcast and Disney aren't going to match $9 billion. They're going to pay $10 billion for the WWE.
I made
the women's division though. That's a curious question. If they do buy it,
but I made that comment, Jacob, on the video that I did or whatever it was that I did for that. I don't even remember if it was a 1 minute update or whatever because they want shorts. But
yeah,
I feel like Comcast could actually use Disney's money to buy the WWE and kick them in the balls twice because because Disney has to write Universal a check for some significant portion of money, probably close to $9 billion for Hulu, because Disney has to buy the last fraction of Hulu from them sometime in the next 18 months or something. So I'm like, they can actually use Disney's money to buy the WWE.
Yeah, it's a mess over there right now. But just to answer Grant's question, what would happen to women's wrestling? I mean, if the Saudis buy it and they buy it for a hefty price, which is what's being pushed out there right now, they could just easily say, yeah, we don't want women's wrestling anymore. And then since they're now also talking about moving it from a publicly traded company to a private company, there's really nothing no one can do to stop them. So you can
she is showing ankle.
Yeah. No, so here's the thing. WWE did a deal with the Saudis about 5 years ago to start doing 2 shows a year in Saudi Arabia. When they first went there, the first 2 years, women weren't even allowed to be on the show. So they had no female wrestlers on the show at all because Saudi wouldn't allow it. And then they only allowed like 1 or 2 matches a year in Saudi Arabia as a courtesy to WWE. But they clearly don't value women's wrestling in that country at all. So they can easily come in and be like, nope, no more women's wrestling.
Well, everyone has to go outside their country. I mean, there's no reason for them to take anything from the heathens.
Yep. But heathens. Like I said...
Goddamn heathens.
or the infidels, if you want to be culturally correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so Ya Allah, right?
Ya Allah. Y'all all infidels. Saudi Arabia is running wild, brother.
The Iron Sheik would be like the hero.
He's running wild.
Mm-hmm.
He is a real.
They show up to the women's wrestling here. They do that, I bet.
What's happened?
The Saudis and the Royals and all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He is a real Adadabian.
We had women's wrestling. It didn't even work in the 80s.
Not true.
The best part of the story is that the other reason why WWE is probably going to sell to the Saudis is because the rumor is, keep in mind, these are only rumors now, but none of the big corporations want Vince McMahon to be running the company anymore. And obviously he has the controlling interest in WWE. But if he sells to the Saudis, they'll allow him to keep his spot at the top of the food chain. So that's probably another reason why he wants to stay too. So you got this whole like Game of Thrones storyline happening in the confines of the WWE right now between Vince McMahon and his daughter and his son-in-law, and it's way more interesting than anything that's on any of their television shows,
including this.
Yeah, no, it's
what the fuck is going on?
This is Velma.
Did that work? Yeah.
This is the absolute abomination of the Scooby-Doo series.
I mean, dude,
this has to be episode 2.
Yeah,
because I only watched episode 1 and said never again.
Like she literally
bad enough.
She literally says exactly, I spit truth without filter. Like every comedian before #MeToo.
Yep.
So
Velma.
So this is Mindy Kingley or whatever the hell her last name is, right?
Klungy.
Yeah. The Mindy project sucked. The Mindy show sucked. Everything she's done sucked. So why would they even give her this show?
Like I said, whoever greenlit this needs to be slapped in the face and given a stone cold stunner. Like, there's no other bones about it.
Okay,
like,
we had enough wrestling terminology on this show, guys.
By the way, Scotty, if you go to Rotten Tomatoes now, it's even lower than that.
Is it really?
It was 7% yesterday.
Yeah, it dropped another percent. It's 7%, and if you look at the top critics, it's like down around 44%.
All right, I'm gonna take a look.
It's like I can't even like visualize like how a group of people could be in a room and somehow this idea escaped that room. Like like this isn't like someone like submitted something without an editor seeing it and then like slipped through the cracks. Like a room full of people, executives, sat in a room, heard this idea, heard the layout, and actually said, "Yeah, let's run with it."
Let's have Scooby-Doo without Scooby-Doo.
Say again, Jane.
I was just saying, I don't know how it escaped somebody's head, honestly.
Scooby don't.
Yeah, it's like I watched the first episode and literally it's gratuitous sex, lesbian kissing, and like innuendo.
Are these girls supposed to be teenagers too in this show?
Yeah, 15, all teenagers.
15.
Fred's got a tiny peen.
Look, I posited some shit the other day, and somebody come and talk to me about it that said, you know, you're not too far off from the fucking truth. Because I said, usually when a comedian does these things, their whole thing, if you're a stand-up comedian, is you want to get on like a talk show, like on, you know, like either a talk show, a sitcom. Those are like your two big things you want to do, right? Otherwise, the other avenue you can go is to get a cartoon. John Candy and a few other classic comedians have gotten cartoons in the past where they play themselves ostensibly in the cartoon, right?
Right.
Bobby's World was Howie Mandel's.
Right.
Even Little Rosie, you had so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I could see, is like, okay, why isn't this, and I said this, why isn't this just like Little Mindy's Mysteries, right? Like, why isn't this Mindy Kaling self-insert teenage version of herself?
Right.
And it just
would have
happens
sold.
to be...
Would have sold.
No, it wouldn't have, because that's what I was fucking told, is that's kind of what it started as, and people behind the scenes pushed her to make it a fucking Scooby-Doo show and cast herself as Velma, because her last few shows have tanked.
Well,
That's
this
terrible.
was a terrible idea, because this one is tanking even more.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is these fuckers, this is what they do. They know they can't sell the shit on their own. They know nobody's going to buy some random generically named woke fest. But if you take something, and this just goes to prove what we've said time and time again, if you take something people know, what's going to happen? Everybody's going to fucking talk about it. People are watching this shit because of how bad it is, right? And the Scooby-Doo crowd, there is a fucking audience for this. I didn't even realize it until a couple of years ago how big of an audience Scooby-Doo has.
Scooby-Doo is multi-generational as well.
That's what I was just going to say. If you go back and look, since the original show debuted, there has been at least one or another incarnation of Scooby-Doo on television. I can't think of a time where there's been a black period where there's been no Scooby-Doo on TV. Yeah, and I'm talking about brand new shows. I'm not talking about just repeats.
Right.
Yeah, there's people who obviously know Scooby-Doo from back in like the 60s and the 70s. I got a lot of younger people who are big fans like Scooby. There's a lot of Scooby-Doo fans out here. This show is like written by someone who absolutely despises Scooby-Doo and just wants to spite everyone who actually likes the show. And that's why it's getting so much hate right now, because people who actually like this series and like this franchise is looking at everything that they're seeing in these videos and these episodes, just going like, who the hell approved any of this?
Or I'll even go farther than that. It's not that, like, I don't blame her for spiting Velma. She is being spiteful to HBO, saying, you don't believe I can make my own thing work as my own little crime fighting, you know, Mindy? Well, then I'm going to take Velma and make it ridiculous. And you know what? No one said no. But no one said no. Yeah. That's what I think.
Well, and that's the thing that bothered me, and that's what I said the other morning, too, on the show, because when we read the synopsis of this shit, and I'm like, animated shows aren't like normal shows where, you know, you kind of write a script and then you go in and you shoot it and whatever, and things just, animated stuff is kind of pre-edited is what I'm getting at here. Like you don't just jump into it. You write everything out. It's most of the time storyboarded. They'll pre-record the audio. There's very little like improvisation. It's always pre-planned down to the frame. Right? Like they have to know what's going on throughout the entire thing before they start animating this thing, because it takes a long time and a lot of money to reanimate shit. And this is what Marvel is starting to learn the hard way, because of all these animators who don't want to fucking work for them no more because of this very reason, because they have them constantly reanimating stuff. This is the same kind of thing. If you go into it like you're supposed to, these shows are pre-planned. And I'm just sitting here going, how did this get through the several stages of pre-planning? That somebody didn't.
That's the
go ahead,
problem.
Jane.
These are the types of shows that they keep taking IPs that they should be able to just print money based on. This is one of those.
Yeah, there's been 15 different series of Scooby-Doo since 1969.
Exactly, but she chose instead to make a mockery of the IP and the fans, and it's the same
because
thing.
Just
it's
like
every single scene is just propaganda, indoctrination, messaging, agenda nonsense.
I was just about to say too, because just like Mindy Kaling, all the executives, or at least executives who were in charge, who greenlit this, hates Scooby-Doo and hates the source material just as much as she does, because nobody else.
Or it doesn't even hate, man. They just don't respect it. They don't know it well enough, and they don't respect it.
I wouldn't even give them that much credit to say that they just don't respect it. I think these people truly do hate a lot of these fan bases and try to deconstruct everything they possibly can.
Where's the Globetrotters? Where's the
Where's the Globetrotters? There was a time, and this is kind of the version of the story I heard of what happened with the original Scooby-Doo movie. And it may be something similar to what happened here, but my point is they didn't stop it at the last minute with somebody who should have went, hello, this is not going to roll over well with the Scooby-Doo crowd. Because here's the thing, at Warner Brothers, before Zaslav came into the picture of April of last year, so he's not even been there a whole year yet, guys. Keep that in mind. Before Zaslav came into the picture, one thing I constantly heard from everybody from Warner Brothers for the past 3 decades was that it is compartmentalized to shit, meaning nobody communicates with anybody. There's so much stuff that's spread out, and people don't talk to each other, so that it can be understandable, but things can get to a certain level before somebody puts the brakes on something. In fact, the short version of this is I told the story of how it took forever for Batman the Animated Series to get to Blu-ray, simply because the animated show was under the kids department instead of DC, and DC was constantly nagging the kids department to release the show on Blu-ray and let them remaster it because there's a demand for it, and they're like, we don't think there is. So they ended up putting it up on Warner Archives disc sales, and it sold out within minutes.
Wow.
So they're like, oh shit, we fucked up. We should put this out. And they did. They changed the date and they put it out as a regular release when they realized they'd fucked up. But this is what I'm talking about. They're so compartmentalized over there. They don't know what the fuck's going on half the time with each other. And when the Scooby-Doo movie was originally come up with, their idea was to do a hardcore PG-13 to R-rated, more tongue-in-cheek satire on the brand, because as far as the individuals who had just gotten the idea for making the movie, they didn't realize how popular the show had been over the years. They knew it was still popular. They didn't realize that it had this hardcore fan base. So they brought James Gunn in, who was at that time known for his shit at Trauma. Now, this is why it's important, because he turned around and he wrote a story that was full of sexual innuendos and weed jokes. And there's still a few of those elements in the script, but most of it has been washed away because it got down the line and somebody goes, wait a minute, time out here. We cannot do an R-rated Scooby-Doo movie. And the cooler heads prevailed and like, no, we got to get this down to a PG because we need to be able to sell fucking toys and Happy Meals, because Scooby-Doo's core fan base is families, not just, because they were looking at it as, the people that grew up with Scooby-Doo will like this movie. You're like, yeah, but they won't be able to bring their fucking kids to it. That's the goddamn problem. And that's what you have here, is you have a fucking Scooby-Doo show that you can't watch with your fucking kids. That's a problem.
Well, it's not even
look at the backlash when they made Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah, it's even unwatchable as an adult. Jane's right.
Yeah, like look at the backlash when they made Scrappy-Doo the bad guy in the live-action movie. Like, and if they were going to do an entire film that was based around them being dark and bad, like, it never would have worked.
They even misunderstood that as a joke. You're right.
In the second one, that was awful.
What, Biggles?
I said that happened in the second one. That was awful.
No, it was the first one.
I thought Scrappy was the bad guy in the second one.
He was the bad guy in the second one.
He wasn't in the first one.
I thought he was the bad guy in the first one.
No, he wasn't in the first one.
He wasn't in the first one. It had to be the second one. Culture's raising his hand.
I am.
Wait, which one are we talking about now?
The one with Hot Velma. What, Culture?
But what is curious and not so curious?
Nah, just look it up. It was the first movie.
So, hey everybody, welcome to this dump. What a gay name. It wishes it was gay, actually. Enjoy the silence.
All right. So what I was trying to say is, I think that this is a gift. I think this is a gift from Zaslav to the critics. It gives them an opportunity to try to save face, to have a little bit of credibility, so that when they get caught super shilling for The Last of Us, which premieres tomorrow, they have cover. Because that thing has, right now, with 102 ratings, 98%.
Right.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
Shocker.
I think they were giving them room to dish on this thing, you know, so that they could. Yeah. Oh yeah. You're looking it up. It is crazy. It comes out tomorrow.
How is it already 98?
Because
the actress just came out as gender fluid. That's why.
Because 102 reviewers.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. 1 second. Culture. The little girl.
Yes.
The girl who was in like
Game of Thrones.
The one who got crushed by the giant. Yes.
How old is she to come out gender fluid?
47.
Well, I remember saying when I was talking about the trailer that they were making her really masculine for some reason. Didn't make any sense to me. And
she said she's gender fluid.
It.
Yeah, she's 19 in real life, and then like literally right before the show came out, she came out as non-binary and uses all pronouns. So.
Yeah, but don't call her she. She gets upset. That's one of the ones you're not allowed to use.
So, but why are they giving then non-females, non-women, non-she/hers these roles?
Oh, of course, freaking Megan Navarro gave it a perfect score.
Jane, when are you going to understand rules for thee and not for me?
They're taking up women's roles.
I know, but
well,
they're taking jobs from women.
They're trying to destroy
woman, Jane.
They're just trying to destroy gender norms for society.
Yeah,
make us easier to control.
Yeah, what were you going to say, Culture?
What did Richard Roper give it? I want to see what Richard said because he's
Last of Us.
Yeah, go up.
All right, wait a minute. No, this is Velma.
Oh, of course he did.
No,
yes,
that was Velma. That was Velma.
Velma.
Yeah, let me go to.
Jokes become exhausting in the. Oh fuck.
Well, no, let me go because I think I saw him in the first page of this one.
I'm curious because he was the only one who actually gave Ghostbusters 2016 an actual review. He's like, this movie sucks. Basically,
really,
in so many words. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Let's get back to him then. Richard Roper.
I don't think that these critics who haven't played the games, I don't think they will be judging it based on that. So, I mean, it could very well be a fine show structurally or whatever, but I think fans of the game are the ones who are going to have a problem with these characters.
They literally took out the thing that made them zombies in the first place in the show.
Yeah, I know. But no one's going to know that but us.
No spores.
There's no spores?
No.
I've actually had some back and forth with Richard Roper. He was the guy who joined Ebert after Gene Siskel.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But it looks like he doesn't have a Last of Us review, so.
Nah, he ain't gonna watch that.
Oh, that says movies only, so it might be
right. But he does Velma though.
Exhausting in the meta, not for kids. Scooby-Doo prequel. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, The Last of Us already has 102 reviews from quote unquote critics.
And there was one that was like, this isn't very good, and it was still a tomato.
Yeah.
No, that happens a lot in Rotten Tomatoes. If you actually read the reviews that are posted on Rotten Tomatoes, some person would say that it's not really all that great. It still has a lot of issues, but it'll still give you a 3 out of 5, a positive review. And I'm just like, what you just said about the film doesn't match the score you just gave it.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Interestingly enough, what's actually happening, if nobody minds spoilers, in the first episode, you're going to have a flashback that's going to take you back in time to the scientist who actually discovers the fungal infection in brains and the fact that it's going to kill everyone.
First to know, my pronouns are so thank you.
Interesting part of it.
I'm gender fluid now. I just want everybody to know that.
I'm covered with a super chat. It was fun.
Yep. Gender fluid. What? I don't have super chats. What are you talking about?
Oh, whatever.
It's just a regular chat.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't get
only
super
monetized channels are allowed.
Yeah,
to
sorry, I'm not like you, Culture.
Hey, didn't we have fake super chats last time?
I do have fake ones.
Those were
tip.
You guys can send me Scott's super chats.
That's true. That works. Or Scott could pin his thing in the thing.
I did. I pinned my thing in the thing. And there's my tip thing right there. Just a tip.
How about this? You guys just send me the money and then send me your messages. And between 6 to 8 business months, I'll give those messages to Scott.
Something like that. Something like that.
That sounds way
What
too
the hell's a
reasonable.
business
Make it
month?
2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the memers are memeing for you there, Scotty.
He left. He gave up on us.
I boomered that.
What
I
happened?
boomered
I
that.
figured as much.
Yeah, I meant to hit back on the Velma one to get back to my Twitter stuff so we can look at the bookmarks, and I completely
He accidentally logged himself out of.
pretty much that's what I just did. Yeah. That's me. That's me. So all right, so we got now drugs or zoinks, jeepers, mystery machines.
Are you chewing gum? Because like I can actually hear you chewing.
I'm sorry,
gum.
dude. I have the worst stomach ache right now, and mint gum sometimes helps me.
I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about me, but I've been doing that for the whole time I've been here, and then I realized that he's chewing gum and chomping.
No. It's definitely
totally
Scott.
me. It's me.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm having pains.
This is his show.
I can't think straight right now. Actually, that's how much pain I'm in. I'm gonna go get something for it. I think you guys talk amongst yourselves. Roman Catholic era, neither Roman nor Catholic. Discuss.
Wait, what is he talking about? All I know is I'm Roman Catholic, but I'm not very good.
I know that Jane knows things because I watch her channel.
Is Jane a Roman Catholic?
No, but she knows things. Jane, what's some things that you know?
I think Jane's dead too. Oh, no,
Just put her on the damn spot like that.
No, but I mean that like stuff that's happening in things.
Let's talk about Ezra Miller.
Oh, that sounds fun. Let's do that.
Let's not.
He pled guilty to trespassing.
Oh, he did.
Got a
Only
slap
trespassing?
on got a slap on the pinky.
Yeah. He'll have to pay a $500 fine, and he'll spend 1 year on probation. And as long as he doesn't violate his probation during that time, they will not pursue the felony charges.
Oh, because somebody reported that the probation was actually suspended.
The jail sentence was suspended.
Okay, all right. We got it wrong then. Oh,
So if I identify as they them, I can hurl a chair at that bitch's head and only give me trespassing.
That's not what this is about.
This was
that's a different
one.
I'm sorry.
I'm raiding your $10,000 liquor cabinet.
Yeah. This was when you burglarized someone's home.
Yes.
You're
Those
thinking of the
incidences
case
were
in the
overseas.
bar where he
Yeah.
got, I think he pled to, what was it? Disturbing the peace or something.
Yeah.
Like
Disorderly conduct, I
Wait,
think. And some of them
wait a
got
second.
dropped, yeah.
He did hit a chick in the head with a chair in Hawaii though, right?
That was in Hawaii, yeah. And I think that was one of the ones that was
That
dropped.
was Hawaii. In Iceland was where he choked a chick.
That was in Iceland, and that one was also dropped. And that was the thing, is a lot of these ones in like Iceland and Hawaii, I think were dropped under the assumption that he wouldn't come back.
Right.
Like, I'm not kidding. Like, that's the way they put him in the news report when they like talk, because that's what it kind of said. It was like in Iceland, they were like, they just, as long as he didn't return, they weren't going to pursue charges or something like
I think
that.
it was
Yeah.
dropped in exchange for, whatever they received, because he had a movie coming. And I
Yeah.
think that was what they were focusing on. But see, the thing is, anybody else, any one of us, if we walked into court after burglarizing somebody's house with a string of arrests, we wouldn't be looking at probation or trespassing.
I can't even get out of a parking ticket, let alone
feel
assault charge.
I feel like if you did that in Chicago or San Francisco or Portland, you'd be fine.
In Chicago, you're going to jail.
Really?
Now in California, maybe not.
I mean, there's this guy that actually like committed massive amounts of fraud, talking about going to Subway at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah, that guy. Remember that guy? What happened to him?
I hear he's a French actor.
Yeah, Smollett.
Yes.
I mean, if you know that Fox chick, I guess you're fine.
Oh, you're talking about celebrities. I'm talking about regular people.
Oh, okay.
Like you and me and everybody else in the chat, if we had a string of arrests, I'm not talking about first offenders. I'm talking about you have constantly been arrested for violent charges, and you've constantly gotten away with it for whatever reason. And then you walk into court after committing a felony on video. You are not going to get a slap on the wrist. They're going to stop you right then and there. They're going to make an example out of you.
Didn't Illinois just legalize the purge this year? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Purge is legalized.
Yeah. So in California, Illinois, I mean, you probably get away with that. So.
Look, I mean, it's funny we joke, but seriously, they do nothing to
He's
people.
not
in
funny to me because he
California.
went into somebody's house. Like, to me, this is a different kind of crime. And I thought for sure that the prosecutor would want to take this one seriously. Of all of the others, like, people get into fights in bars all the time. I can look the other way. But you're talking about you actively went into someone else's home. And then you stole something on top of that. And then you got away with it. All of this is on videotape.
Jane, I think you severely underestimate Hollywood's ability to make charges and people disappear.
It's just it's insulting to the intelligence. It's insulting to our criminal justice system. It's like, at this point, why do we even have courts? What's the point?
Good question.
The question is, since he's now on probation, and I have no way to know if any of this is enforceable, but as part of his plea deal, he agreed to 41 conditions, and they're listed here: no drinking, random drug tests, commitment to continuing seeking mental health.
Yeah,
so
probation.
if he ceases,
Probation, exactly.
if he ceases, if he doesn't follow through on those conditions as part of his probation, what happens?
He'll have to do the 90 days.
So give
It's
him a
up to
hug
his-
and let him go.
Yeah, it's up to his probation.
So
And what
officer.
state is this in again? These
Vermont.
charges?
Vermont.
Okay. I
So
say if this
you
is like California, they'll probably like let him out on like 72 hours or like overcrowding or something
they-
like that.
Culture, I was going 30 miles over the speed limit in Virginia, and I paid $500.
Dude, felony speeding's 20 miles over.
Yeah, 25 in that state.
Oh, fudge. All right.
I was lucky.
Well, it's because you were bald. They just felt sorry for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you know what the worst part is? I'm sorry, it was 22 miles over, so I wasn't going 30. And in their state, it's 25. My own state tried to suspend my license because they're 20. So I got arrested not arrested. I got a ticket in Virginia for going 22 miles over the speed limit. I paid my fine in there, went to court, paid my fine. And then like 3 weeks later, my own state tried to take away my license for a month.
And you're like, nah.
I was like, I sent the letter. I'm like, that's wrong. And they dropped it. But still, how messed up is that?
How many people didn't drop it or didn't just let it go and didn't fight it?
In San Diego, I once got fined $200 for sitting at a trolley station without a ticket.
I mean, California is one of those states where the liberals are running amok, but at the same time, you get these unfair, like, the criminal justice system is insane. This is the same state, I think, where the guy stole a slice of pizza or something and got hit with the habitual offender enhancement.
Was it a third time?
Strike law thing?
Right.
I'm like, what is it? Oh, insane.
Ridiculous.
Well,
He was hungry.
I have a personal story I won't share on a stream for a family member who got hit with a third thing, despite the fact that they'd cleared the other two, and ended up doing a long period of time.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And a lot of these things come down to, having access to good lawyers. And I'm pretty sure the people behind Ezra Miller have, let's play a 6 to 7 figure legal team that somehow managed a way to get him out of this.
It's not even that. We were talking about this on my show this morning, because that's the other thing people say. Well, he had good lawyers. Lawyers aren't magicians.
No.
He was on videotape. The prosecutors had a fantastic case. If they had taken it to trial, he would have been convicted. What got him out of this is his movie that's coming out.
Is it possible that people could be so angry at that prosecutor that they try to replace him the next go around?
I would hope so.
All right.
In
I
Vermont?
would hope so.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I think you'd
Is that
be
a liberal
surprised.
state?
Very liberal.
But it's a weird state. Vermont.
It is weird.
Yeah,
You're right.
a lot of gay couples move there.
It's liberal, but it's also, there's a lot of conservatives there too, which is weird.
It's very weird.
Wait, is that Vermont? Is that New Hampshire?
New Hampshire's very conservative, but also has liberal. It's very weird up in that, because you got like ski bums.
All of those New England states make no sense.
None of them.
It's like, okay, you can open carry. In fact, it can constitutional carry, and you have they have bizarre laws. New Hampshire's like that weird state where what's happening now?
There's a few states up there that are like super libertarian, and even like down like right wing with like a lot of their policies, but it's like they're all Democrat run, like heavily Democrat run. It's like, I don't know how we make this work, but somehow that did.
I don't know if it still is, but like New Hampshire was the last red state in New England.
Yeah.
I think what it may be is you're starting to see more people lean libertarian or at least independent, and they're pulling away from the traditional sort of two-party structure.
I think what it is a lot too is like we look at like the federal elections, like president and stuff like that. We see how like a lot of like voting habits go on like the presidential elections, but at the end of the day, when it comes to like the state elections, especially in a lot of some of these New England states as well, it's like, yeah, we don't actually want to live like California. Like we will vote blue, but we don't actually want like people just be able to break in and steal all of our stuff. There's nothing that we can do about it. So
let's take a quick break, and then we'll go to Jane. But Biggles needs to read this.
That's right, Biggles. Tips.
Zombie box reviews for $5. Here's a little something to help. I wish I could send more, but I'm flat out broke until my next pay. LOL.
Dude, you didn't have to send anything, Zombie
You didn't
Box.
send $1, Zombie
Thank
Box.
you so much,
Dude.
man. You've been sending way too much in the first place. This is the beauty of YouTube. We tell you not to send stuff to us, but yet people send stuff. I love it. But thank you, man. I really appreciate that, but you don't have to do that. Other people should.
What's happening now?
I'm looking at other people.
Yeah, Soul Assassin. We see you, son of a bitch.
What?
That was a joke. Come on.
Oh, I was gonna say I like bought your housing for like your vacation. So,
Wow, he throws shit in people's faces. First of all, I had my own place for 3 days. I stayed at yours because you were too lazy to bring me over, and I didn't want to get an Uber. So I stayed over one night. Don't pull that shit with me. I'm not your people.
Scott's one of my best friends, by the way.
I love him.
He wasn't allowed.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What was that again, Biggles?
I said you weren't allowed in the bunk bed. You had to go in the minion room.
I was in the minion room. I was in the goddamn minion room. It was so cool though. I took pictures of it. My kids loved it.
Yeah, I bet your kids love that. I was like, Scott, you can be here with the minions. Nick went downstairs, dude. Okay, so dude, this was so much fun. By the way, if you ever come to like one of these meetups and one of us gets a house, right? You have to like, if you get a chance to hang out at the Boomer House, that's wherever I am apparently. Do it because Nick was rocking PJs like most of the time.
Yeah, dude, that was so awesome. He was so drunk, but yet he did not spill a beer bottle.
I know, dude.
He was sitting.
He's passed out, sitting Indian style.
Not even Indian style, like Guru style, with like both feet up on his knees. I don't know how the hell he did it, man. It's like Lemmy's kid. I don't know how he does it. But yeah, so Ezra Miller, in a statement provided to Variety, Miller's attorney said, Ezra Miller pleaded guilty this morning to a misdemeanor, unlawful trespassing in Vermont Superior Court, and accepted the conditions imposed by the court. Ezra would like to thank the court and the community for their trust and patience throughout this process. It would once again like to acknowledge the love and support they have received from their family and friends who continue to be a vital presence in their ongoing mental health. He's one of theirs. Okay. I was getting fucking confused there for a second.
No, it felt like you were having a stroke as you were reading this. But
I really did.
Just because of the pronouns.
The pronouns messed me up, man. I mean, Jane, you're right. He broke into somebody's house.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like one of the worst things you can do, violating someone's privacy, violating the sanctity of their home. Just imagine if someone had actually been there, because that's my concern too. Beyond all the other stuff,
if somebody had been there with a gun. No,
exactly, his behavior is escalating, and the concern is that somebody's going to get hurt, and it's not. I don't care what happens to him, but he's going to get an innocent person hurt if they keep letting him get away with it.
Yep. It's pretty. It's scary how far they'll let these guys go. I mean, choking a woman in an Iceland bar, throwing that woman down in the snow, choking her,
throwing chairs at people.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure somebody in Warner Brothers has him in like a unsanctioned house arrest right now to keep him out of trouble until this movie comes out.
It's ridiculous, man.
I've been saying it for months. We all know it's going to happen. The only time you'll hear from Miller between now until the movie comes out, he'll do his Good Morning America sit-down interview like 2-3 weeks before the movie comes out to say that, oh, I'm sorry for my actions, or I was in a bad place, blah, blah, blah. And he'll talk about mental health issues, and then they'll use that to propel him to be like, hey, you guys can go see the movie now. He apologized.
No. He's going to do Barbara Walters. No, he's going to do Barbara Walters.
Nah,
well, she's
Barbara's
dead now, isn't she?
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know we're gonna miss her.
Are we though?
Yeah,
I mean,
I would.
I have to say
she gave us the view, Jane.
She gave us the view when there was.
She put a pit of vipers in the middle of America. I mean, come on.
I don't care. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff on TV. She had great interviews.
That too, but
nobody can take that away from her.
Jane, she also started the View with actual people that had conflicting views on things.
Mm-hmm.
And then as she got older, she lost control and Whoopi took over. And Joy Behar. And now you got what you got now.
Yeah. Along with all the other crazy stuff on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Teen Mom.
Yeah. Oh my God, I am hurting so bad.
Town Life or whatever.
Culture, you want to take over? Can you sign in? I'm in so much pain right. Oh, Culture's gone.
Yeah, Culture's on the crapper right now.
You.
I feel like I'm dying and I don't know where Mr. Grant Gregory is. Grant! Grant!
He left you for his own safety.
Grant was like, fuck this, and left.
And that's the show, kids.
I know, dude. I'm hurting so bad right now. I can't even express to you guys what's going on in me. I shouldn't have ate all that shit. I ate a lot of shit. And I'm usually like Mr. He
don't
kind of
eat
healthy.
Shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
but the ice cream
out
was
of the
so
toilet,
good.
or was it like dog shit outside?
Right in my hand.
Oh, okay.
Sick bastards.
Also known as Taco Bell.
No, close enough. Culture, you want to run my show? I'll let you sign in because I'm about to die.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to bump Walton and make you the administrator. Let's do this.
No. We'll do it the other way around. Just,
you could sign in?
Yeah, let me go to wherever I had you before. Hang on.
Oh, you've had me before. What?
Let's stop it.
Yeah, he tipped $5. Didn't say anything.
Aw.
Hey Scott, you know what would be something great to eat right now?
Something salty?
Yeah, a grilled cheese sandwich. Can you imagine eating that stuff?
Dude, I had all right. So I had a cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger. I had French fries. I had stuffed mushrooms, and I had a big thing of ice cream.
Did you drink anything?
Oh, I had two. I don't know alcoholic things, but carbonated, and I think that's what's fucking me all up right now. I also had 2 donuts, and maybe 4 candy bars today.
That sounds safe.
12?
I'm an addict. When I go off the fucking rail, I go off the rail, bro.
All right. Well,
my only vice left is vaping and food, and I got to get the food under control or I'm going to die.
Well, I mean, it's better than the cocaine bender that Adam Sessler is having right now, so I guess.
Oh, God, at least that. Let it just at least be that.
What is going on with that dude,
He looks
man?
like a coked up Amish dude.
Adam Sessler has been batshit like for at least the last 15 years now, because you have to remember, like 10 years ago, he got fired from G4 from alleged drug and personnel issues, let's just call it that way. And he hasn't gotten any better at all. People say Trump broke him. It's like, nah, he was pretty bad before Trump. I think Trump made it worse. Like, I think he just came completely off the hinge with Trump, but he's been pretty bad for quite some time now. Just an angry, miserable little man.
I can't believe how many people are just... TDS is so fucking real.
Oh, it's weird, man. Yeah, he lost his complete mind. Scott,
yep, I got you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, but I need to know what that address is.
Yeah, Sporking here is going to have a good old-fashioned Stan Merch baby. Here
Well, while they're fucking around with this shit, I got to leave here soon. So did you want me to talk a little bit about the movie I watched?
Yeah, please do.
Oh, God, what did you watch?
I watched a movie with Nicolas Cage and Clint Howard in it.
Oh, okay. Tell me. I'm excited.
It's called The Old Way. It's a Western. It's kind of like Unforgiven meets True Grit. It was all right. It wasn't like great. It wasn't like anything to write home about. Production wise, it kind of felt a lot like a TV movie. It's only 95 minutes, and in fact, I would say it feels a bit too lean in the beginning because it could use a little bit more setup. But I mean, once it starts playing out, it's pretty straightforward. The setup's pretty basic. You have Nicolas Cage, who's like either a bounty hunter or a sheriff or something. They don't really specify, but he's a hell of a killer kind of thing. And they introduce him in the beginning, and so then they jump 20 years, and he's married now with a daughter, and something happens to his wife, and of course that brings the old way out in him, and yeah, it's a interesting movie. It tonally it had some issues, but you know, overall I thought it was pretty good. 6, maybe 7 out of 10, I guess I'd give it. Curious what you'll think about it, Jacob.
Yeah, it's definitely on my catch-up list. I'll have to watch it sometime this week. I need to catch up on that one, Man Called Otto, which is the Tom Hanks movie. And then the Gerard Butler movie, Plane, I'm hoping to see sometime tomorrow. So there's a few films that I have to catch up on because we're doing a review show on Monday. And I feel like I got the worst movie out of the 3 for all of our assignments. And I'm the one who made the assignments, so that's even worse. So...
yeah, some of the acting isn't the best, but sometimes it's like, are they really being bad? Is it bad acting, or are they just talking that way because, you know, people kind of talk that way in westerns sometimes? Right?
I mean, it's Nicolas Cage. I mean, you know,
well, he's not one of the ones I'm really talking about. He's actually pretty subdued for the most part in the movie, to be honest with you.
Did any of you guys see the trailer for Renfield?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
It looks good. It looks good.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you got to see it. We should. We can't watch it though. Claim it. But it's really,
don't worry.
really,
I'll just delete this whole freaking stream afterwards.
Yeah, clearly they're not. He's not allowed to make money on YouTube according to Google. So
not at all.
Scott, send the code.
Send the code. Send the code. I don't know if you want to hold off on our MCU talk, but I did have a couple of thoughts about the whole Ant-Man thing.
Oh,
well, I'll read Lockney's.
Yeah. Read the. Give her just a tip.
All right, so it was $5. Says, I know I'm late on this one, but I wanted to wish you, Scott, a huge congratulations on 5K subs. It's been. Oh, stop moving on me. Oh wait, it's right here. It's been a joy. Been a joy watching you grow, and I'm honored to be a part of it. Here's to more success for you.
Thank you, Barrow. Makini, thank you. I love you. I'm dying. Holy crap. I can't burp.
Yeah, let this be a note to you guys listening to the show tonight. Don't eat 7 cheeseburgers and 6 cans of ice cream and expect
it was
things
one
to go very,
cheeseburger,
very well.
one thing of ice. It was like 4 or 5 Twix bars, though.
Fucking wuss.
Are you in control now? All right.
He's gonna go puke.
I love you guys, Tom. I love you, Biggles. Guys, love you, Jane, as always. Thank you for being here and making us sound smarter. Bye, guys.
I thought Boston people were supposed to be strong.
Now we might get
I'm Connecticut.
Oh, shit, he's back. I say now we might be able to get him monetized again.
Yeah,
Whenever
right.
he's not on the stream, it's probably better for him.
By the way, you're muted, Culture.
I was gonna say, yeah, we're gonna get him monetized. We're the all-star team. We got Jane right there. We got Jacob right there. We got Tom over there, and then you got 2 of the. You just got us 2.
Center square, baby.
That's right. Okay, so Tom, you really enjoyed The Old Way. Is that what I'm taking away from all of that?
It was decent. Like, it's the kind of movie your dad would like. You know, if you got it. It's not like. It's not Oscar worthy in any way. It's not like. You know, I wouldn't compare it to like Yellowstone quality or anything like that as far as like writing wise. It's pretty straightforward. The bad guys are pretty basic. I mean, it's the setup is pretty obvious once you get into it, but it's enjoyable enough. I mean, they treat Nicolas Cage like this John Wick kind of character. Right. So you kind of have this whole thing because you got like the bad gang and Clint Howard's like the old guy in the bad gang. So he's the only one who kind of really knows the kind of guy he is, and he keeps trying to warn him. You know, it's like, you guys fucked up now, you know, and shit like that kind of thing. But like, you know, it's one of those movies, like I said, that if you just want to sit down, watch a nice fun Western, it works. It doesn't really get too deep or anything like that. It's pretty basic. The production value's all right. I mean, like I said, at times it kind of has a TV movie kind of feel of it, but not too bad. Just in the way it's kind of edited and rushed in a sense, it feels like in the beginning.
Right.
So.
Well, I know we got one more thing for Biggles to read. It looks like I'm going to grab it right here. There it is. Ah, here we go, Biggles. Go to town.
Biggles is muted.
Sweet. Biggles is muted.
I was muted because my dogs wouldn't shut up and they wouldn't stop barking. But Big Raj for $5 a minute ago. Thumbs up. But I'm sure he left a message somewhere, but it's not showing up, so I don't know where it is.
Okay. Well, it looks like a thumbs up to me, so I think we're fine. But it sounds like a great film. I'm kind of really excited by that. Because I love westerns, and I think Nick Cage is genius. So, Tom, it's airing both on streaming and in the theaters?
Yeah, it's a Lionsgate Saban film, so it's one of their... So I'm not sure how many theater... You probably have a hard time finding a theater that's showing it. Right. But it is in theaters, and it's also on video on demand, so...
I think Saban mostly does like a lot of like, you know, straight to online or VOD films. So yeah,
in tandem,
yeah.
Right,
they had a few movies with Mel Gibson last year that were all pretty much VOD films.
Right. Well, we have some disappointing news from Marvel. Do you guys want disappointing news from Marvel?
Outside no! How could this get Jeremy Renner losing a leg?
God, that was just terrible. Oh, it's god awful. But no, there's worse than that. And
what's worse than that at this point? Fuck.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, I guess there's nothing technically worse than that. But
Marvel's already shit the bed, so who cares?
Yeah, true. I feel like it is what it is. But let's.
I'm killing your segue. I'm sorry. What is going on with? I'll quickly discuss this with you before I go.
Did I have a segue? I don't feel like I even segued.
I want a segue. If you buy me a Segway, I'll drive it everywhere.
All right. Apparently, you have Marvel Studios casting director confirms that the studio will continue to embrace their representation and diversity agenda that's slowly killing the MCU.
Well, duh, because the man who brought this shit into being in the first place is back. These people are fucking empowered now even more than they ever were before. So I said Disney's going to be the last one to drop the woke shit.
Can they embrace some good storytelling? Because I'm confused as to how they have not figured out how to do both.
Well, they're not trying to do both. They're only trying to get representation for the sake of clicks, and they call you an islamophobe for not liking it.
That's the problem I have. That's the problem I have. It's like you're not doing any of these people any justice. I mean, in fact, none of your characters at this point of any race or gender. Everything you write for them is absolute trash. No one is watching this crap. So what are they getting out of it?
Clicks and Disney Plus subscriptions?
I don't even know. I mean, at this
it goes back to a lot of the same shit we were talking about, the Scooby-Doo Mindy Kaling thing.
Yeah,
they can't get a regular crowd anymore, so now they have to resort to this kind of shit so that they can, you know, put it on a pedestal, just like Wakanda Forever or Captain Marvel or whatever, and try to get people to pay attention that way, and then call us istophobes for bitching about it.
What I feel
go ahead.
No, please, Jacob, go.
No, I'm saying it's no surprise that they're going to continue because look what they have coming up. Obviously, they're going to try to front load the Ant-Man 3 stuff as much as they can because a lot of their entire Phase 5, Phase 6 relies on that. But outside of that, you have the Ironheart TV show, which is coming out later this year on Disney Plus, and that show is going to be chucked full of LGBTQ plus identity all over that show. So if you think it's bad now, it's going to get even worse later this year. You have the Echo show, which is coming out, which is the one-legged, deaf Native American, possibly lesbian superhero show that's coming out on Disney Plus as well. And then just looking ahead, I mean, God, there's just several other shows that are going to be just absolutely nauseating. The Agatha TV show that's also coming out. You have
that one's going to be the gayest ever.
Well, from what I'm hearing, Ironheart might actually top that one. As far as they already got non-binary, transgender. They got 2 transgenders, 1 drag queen, and that's only the ones they've given us. Oh yeah. I said I have to pull it up too, but yeah, they're going all in on that Ironheart TV show, and of course, Ironheart is a character that everyone loves to begin with, so that's only going to make it just so much better moving forward.
She's the favorite character in all of Marvel and all of its history.
Yep. You know, and all of that's not true. But I do know this. This is from our good friends at Bounding Into Comics. I think Jacob's tangentially associated with them somehow. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know those guys.
Yes.
But I think it's really interesting that the director for at Marvel Studios, casting director Sarah Finn, confirmed that the film production company will continue to embrace the representation and diversity agenda that has seen the Marvel Cinematic Universe fall into decline during Phase 4, a phase that was unceremoniously killed early by Marvel Studio boss Kevin Feige. Can I ask you a question? Does that look like King to you?
No.
No.
Isn't he supposed to be blue or green or something?
He's like a blue man.
Yeah, he's a blue man group dude. Yeah, and here's the problem. Unfortunately for Disney, you have blue man group in Avatar. You have blue man group in the Wakanda wackadoodleness, whatever it was, and so you got too many. Plus the chick from Guardians, what was her name? The
Nebula.
Nebula.
Yeah, I'm like, how much? Anyway, the whole point is,
I like Nebula, but
yeah, I think Nebula is a great character. But like I said, you had enough blue people. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. No blue people really exist in life. How can you cast that character? You don't have any of them. Just like the Na'vi.
Well,
how did they cast those? You didn't have any aliens.
You can start a hashtag Blue Lives Matter, but I don't think it's going to go over very well.
Yeah,
my issue with this is going to be like, what role is Ant-Man going to play in his own movie? Because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be his story.
It's not.
So are they going to sideline him like they have every other character with their name and take it and give it to somebody else?
Yeah, he's gonna die. Jane theories. But it's true, Jane. I mean, I honestly believe this. I think, and this is, kick me in the face if I'm off base and trying to calculate what they'll do next. They're going to do what they've done recently, which is bait and switch, and they're gonna put him on the sideline.
Yeah, because his daughter in the show was playing Stinger. And in the comments, so they're gonna already switch her out, and she'll be the new Ant-Man Wasp character role. So,
and see, that's the thing. It's like they come so close but cross the line. If you want to have the whole family and all of them are superheroes, that could be cool. I could be perfectly fine with that. But you don't have to sideline his character to do that. It's like you don't have to diminish one to elevate the others, and that's what they haven't figured out.
Well, you already have kind of the first family of Marvel. They were called the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll be great.
And, but I understand what you're saying, Jane. It would be lovely if they could make that.
I mean, I like Ant-Man, but so you can have more than one. It's just that I don't want to see him mistreated. It's the same thing with Loki. Like, I know Tina loved the show, but I like Loki a lot, and they completely just rendered him useless.
Because you're dealing with ideologues who only see those characters as white men and white men bad. It goes back to the whole Velma thing. Someone actually just shared another clip of that Velma show that was absolutely awful, and it's just like, this is as deep as storytelling as you're gonna get from the people working on these projects. Like the days of smart thought provoking entertainment, especially in a company like Disney, those days are over. Like they're gonna be the last ones to ever learn their lesson at this point.
Right. Yeah, and I've been on the record saying that for quite some time now, that Disney's going to be the last boat to turn around. And unfortunately, right now they're the Titanic because they're taking on water, and they haven't decided, hey, we're going to head back to the port. Yeah, you should turn around because it's going to be bad.
It's like a game of Battleship. They're going to be the last ship that gets taken out while everything else is blown up around them.
Yeah, but that's not a good thing in this case. That's the opposite of good. So speaking with the rap, Finn lied about the diversity and representation agenda not being a proclamation. She said it wasn't, from my experience, a proclamation.
Sure.
And Ironheart was just good. Anyway. Sorry, I got to skip past this. Okay. However, the Walt Disney Company, who is the parent company of Marvel Studios, made it very clear that they do indeed have quotas and have made numerous proclamations about pushing the diversity and representation agenda.
Well, why do they need quotas? That's what I don't understand. You have an entire catalog with minority characters.
You do.
Pick any 3 of them and invest the money, the time, and attention to make them great. That's all you have to do.
But here's the other problem.
From other characters, you don't have to race swap other characters. You can have your diversity, blah blah blah, and at the same time have good stories.
But here's the problem. They want that diversity, but at the same time, they also know that actually putting time and effort and money into those characters and making them mainstream is a risk in and of itself. And they don't want to actually lose more money. So it's like, well, instead of taking a risk on a blue Marvel movie, let's just turn one of our key Avengers characters into a black guy. Then just say anyone who doesn't like that is a racist.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. They're projecting their own racism onto the audience. There's no reason to believe that any one of these other characters, given the same time and attention that they put toward their white characters before, wouldn't make the same return financially. There's no reason to believe that.
You're
Black
right.
Panther proved that. I mean, even Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which a lot of people don't like, made money. So you can do it. They just refuse to.
Honestly, I would say that they would have been better off coming up with one of their other amazing diverse characters rather than making a second Black Panther film without Black Panther. But that, again, the unfortunate circumstance
it's
happened.
not so much the story, though. It's just the fact that they are the ones who believe that white Americans won't go and watch a black character on screen.
Which is not true, because that's that low expectation thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bigotry of low expectations. Am I wrong? I would think that would be somewhat accurate.
It's them projecting their own hatred onto the people who pay them.
It's almost like Will Smith's entire 1990 run never existed.
Right.
Eddie Murphy or Sidney Poitier or anybody before that. But with that, I do have to run, guys.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Yeah, so Tom, tell everybody what the things and do the stuff. Okay, can you do that?
I don't know what he's talking about. He says too many words. And he says, here's the thing. And let me ask you this. And are you the Riddler, sir?
Not at the moment.
I think he's secretly the Riddler.
I always saw him as Clayface.
My first name is not Edward.
Mr. Nigma. Only Edward Nigma would say his name is not Edward.
Okay.
I knew it was you. The beard does not confuse me, sir.
Well, that's not true. You seem to be absolutely tumescent at the moment.
What the fuck does that mean? I have never looked at another man naked.
Tom, tell people about stuff and things.
Stuff and things is stuff and things. I'm not stuffing nothing.
Now about your stuff and things.
You're tumescent.
Okay. That's Tom Connors, everybody.
Motherfucker.
He's incredibly talented. He's got great voices, characters, and he's got great perspectives and insight because he has information. He can be found at Midnight's Edge, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Archives, Midnight's Edge Espanol, Mead Radio 1, Mead Radio 2, Mead Radio 3, and the new channel, Midnight Snacks.
Does he have one in Japanese?
I don't know yet. It wouldn't surprise me. Tom, any other things you want to say about stuff and things?
Japanese food is gross.
Wow.
Chinese food rocks, though.
I mean, I don't eat dogs, so I wouldn't know. So,
what do you think about Taco Bell, Tom?
Taco Bell is amazing.
Okay.
In fact, I think I hear my signal. I gotta go.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Tom. We love you very much. Have a great night. There he's gone.
But what you were talking about the characters, though, like Iron Man sucked until it became Robert Downey Jr. Like, not many people gave a shit about Iron Man. He was
wait. I was one of the rare people that liked Iron Man.
Yeah. He was like that B tier. He wasn't like Spider-Man where everybody cared about. He was.
I agree with you, right? But Mike, I actually owned, until it got destroyed in a flood, the very first appearance of Thor. Okay, and Thor wasn't considered a top tier character either, and yet I knew those characters, right? I knew them back to front to back because I read their stuff. And I know a lot of people say, but they weren't unknown. I think that's part of the thing you were saying, right?
Yeah. So they're known. They were just like not the upper echelon, and they took the extra time and made them good, and that's why people liked Thor. That's why people liked Iron Man. That's why they liked Hawkeye for some reason.
I like Hawkeye a lot.
Right.
Someone has to.
Well, see, so Hawkeye actually has perfect accuracy, and they don't actually bring that up as a power. They just make him look like a guy with a bow. So I don't like him as much as I do in the comics.
How did we never get Hawkeye versus Bullseye in any kind of capacity whatsoever? Like, how did we let that happen?
Well, because they're two different companies.
No, they're not.
What? They're Marvel. Bullseye is Daredevil's bad guy.
Oh, that's right. No, I'm sorry, not Bullseye. I just stupid Will Smith character in my head. I don't know what just happened.
No, that's Deadshot.
Yeah. I do that every time.
Parallel characters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry, but no, we didn't get a lot of stuff. Okay, so I often wondered why we didn't get a Wolverine like film that featured his primary adversary.
Well, it's funny because you think about it. If you look back at the Fox Disney sale, the whole, in the words of a lot of fans, the whole reason why they supported Disney buying 20th Century Fox, because in their mind, that meant that we were going to get the Hulk and Wolverine in an MCU film somewhere in the near future. And it's been, about 5 years now, and there's still no closer to that ever happening. So great job there, guys.
I don't think it's going to happen. But I get the point is that it takes time to build up a character. And what they're doing is if you don't immediately fall in love with their character, they immediately attack you. And it's like, no, you can introduce a character. Maybe people don't really like them. Maybe it's going to take some time. But 10 years down the road, maybe if you've written them well, then over time, they can become, redeemed in people's eyes, and people may start to actually like them and buy their stuff. And sometimes you just have to get to know a new character.
But you have to understand, like, the majority of these studios that are around now are major corporations. Like, corporations pretty much own all the studios at this point, with the exception of very few.
Yeah,
So they're only looking at like the bottom line. This is why you don't get like mid-budget movies or any kind of like really creative ideas. They only care about making as much money as possible. So they'll go with an idea in their mind is going to draw $500, $600, $700 million at the box office, rather than take their time on something that may pay off 5 years from now.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and you're right. These corps, especially Disney, they're risk averse. That's the business term for what you're talking about, and they are, because of the hit to flop ratio, and especially Disney right now. If you go through their entire film catalog for 2022, what hits can you point at? What was excessively successful out of anything that they put together this year?
What, Disney?
Yeah.
The only thing that they can claim after the fact is Avatar. But even Avatar, it's still, but like I said, that's even that. Like, I think it's barely broken even with all the money that is made so far, because they put so much cost into it. But I mean, their animation completely flopped. A lot of the MCU films struggled to break even this year. So I mean, there wasn't any big financial success that I could think off the top of my head from that came out of Disney.
And even with Avatar, I mean, that's more of James Cameron's baby. He, I'm sure, didn't let them touch anything having to do with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems like it's not really a risk. Like they're making it a risk.
Yeah.
They're saying it's a risk, but you have IPs that, as long as you don't make it bad, you're gonna make insane amounts of money. Like, it's just, they're sabotaging.
Yep. Well, it's not only that, but because of all the mandates from diversity of, whether it's race-based or sexuality-based, it's impeding a lot of creators. We talked about this at a Culture Stream maybe like sometime last week, about how these movie studios or these filmmakers now are having like squeeze in like gay characters or trans characters into movies that really don't have any bearing into the story whatsoever, but they have to do it because if they don't have it, the studio's not going to greenlit their projects now, so they have to find some kind of way to shoehorn these characters into the film so that they can essentially, okay, here's your gay character, now can we move on with the movie that I want to make?
But that's what I'm saying. It's like they have these characters. Like, they're acting like they don't already exist. They exist. No. But and I don't see the risk in making movies and TV shows around them. What they're doing is they're cutting costs for some reason, and shortcutting it instead
Well,
of.
they're trying to. They're trying to backdoor pilot basically
Yeah.
these characters that nobody knows about, that are the all new, all different thing I just had highlighted a minute ago, into their own, existence.
But why
right?
reinvent the wheel though? That's what I don't understand.
I don't get
They
it either.
literally are acting like they don't have what they own.
But see, the problem is you're thinking like a rational person. These people clearly are not rational people.
They're not at all.
It's just incredibly frustrating, and like I said, I mean, Marvel is probably the most frustrating brand at the moment, because they had the tiger by the tail, and then they let it go in service of something else, and
But see, one more thing,
you
real
don't
quick.
get it back.
Why won't they just sell these properties that they're not going to do anything with?
Well,
because
you know
there's too
why.
much power into having him.
Yeah, I mean, again, you want to control the entire block of stuff. That was the whole reason to go after 20th Century Fox, right? Is you need the whole block of everything. Not to mention the fact that you were capturing a catalog that you desperately needed because of your streaming service, right? And because those stories can be retold 1,000 times over, although it will be to an inferior extent. That's the biggest problem Hollywood has right now, is that there's no meritocracy. They destroyed meritocracy in writing. Let's start there. And then they have no original ideas, and nobody can craft dialogue. Everything is exposition. You don't have a lot of originality in anything that's being produced now. You have reboots of reboots at this point, and I'm not enjoying that. I don't know about anybody else, but how many different iterations have we had of the Batman? We talked about this earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jane, do you want to see 3 different Batman figures at the same time in 3 different films this year?
It doesn't necessarily bother me terribly. Like, I can deal with like the different Jokers, for example, at the same time. Like, I don't have a problem with it if they're entertaining.
Right.
I guess my biggest issue is this whole diversity thing. It's like, you say you want that, but you're ignoring your characters that are diverse.
Well, how long?
What are fans supposed to do? I guess is what I'm saying. Because we're telling you what characters we want to see. They know what we want to see.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. There was a big group of humans that enjoyed Black Lightning. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Canceled. There's a big group of humans that enjoyed Luke Cage. I was one of them. Canceled. You know, it's like they and then they give us these undercooked characters replacements in these shows, like on the Disney Plus. By the way, my firm belief, if you're in a Disney Plus show, you've diluted and destroyed your brand. So if they try to bring you into a film, you're going to bring that film down. Sorry.
But, like, the other thing too is Blade. Like, we know what's happening with, or
That's
at
my
least
favorite-
what was initially happening was that they've introduced now, or plan to introduce, a daughter who's going to
take over
the
for-
mantle. It's like,
Yep.
what are you doing?
Well, it's we can get down to the fact that if you watch commercials in commercial television right now, linear television, right? There's definitely some stuff that's there, and there's definitely things that aren't anymore. And that's the same thing in film and television. Again, it's willful destruction. Let's just say it. Let's be honest about it. It's willful destruction of all of these properties. You can't. And again, Disney's chasing fans that don't exist. You can't cater. You cannot be successful by catering to a fraction of a percent.
I think it's even bigger than that, because it's not that they're chasing a fan base that doesn't exist. It's that they're trying to create a fan base by creating content to an audience that doesn't exist. All of the said, we talked about like GLAAD and Sarah K. Ellis and this big lobby behind all these major studios that's pushing a lot of these degenerative narratives that you're seeing in your TV and your movies. It's because in their minds, they're using it to influence the next generation. They're not doing it to entertain the next generation. That's why you see, like, people ask all the time, it's like, why are they catering to 2% of the population? Because most of that population is in control of the studios. Like, that's why they're doing it.
You know, here's you have 5 studios. You have 5 major studios that are out there that are dictating everything.
Which may fall into 4 later on.
I mean, you have some of these executives who've come out and talked about how many trans children they have in one singular family. And it's like you wonder what's happening. That's what's happening. They've taken over positions of power at these various studios. And so they are in the decision-making seat. The problem is that the American people who they are trying, and the rest of the world really, who they're trying to socially engineer are rejecting this stuff because it doesn't come across. There's no way to make it natural. Like with the race stuff, you can make it natural because it's just regular people. But gender is a fundamental aspect of the human existence.
Yeah, condition.
They want to deny. And there's no way that's ever going to go. You can't make 5 shows and all of the people on all 5 of your shows, the entire cast, are all gay.
No. Well, I mean, look, you had a mega flop this year in cinema that I can't even begin to. I don't even understand how it got made. This Bros film. You know, and
for some reason I thought you were talking about Strange World or Lightyear, which is also mega flops as well.
Lightyear? Yeah, no. But I mean, like, I was trying not to hammer on Disney the whole time, but you got Bros out there in the world, and that thing was a colossal flop because of its subject matter, because of what it dealt with, and because of the way that it treated that circumstance. Consider this: Tom Hanks played a gay man in the midst of AIDS 3 decades ago, and that was I think that won Best Picture.
He won an Academy Award for that too. Yeah,
Philadelphia, right? And so the fact that there's like, well, we got to deal with these issues. I'm like, motherfuckers. And I just cursed on Scott. I apologize, but
he's
I'm
not
like,
monetized. It's fine.
Fine. But I'm like, listen. We've dealt with all this shit my whole life, like my early life. Like by the time I was graduating from high school, all this shit was far behind us. You're dredging all this shit back up as issues which don't exist anymore because you're trying to social engineer a bunch of other crap into place. And we, marginalized communities. Okay, if you want to be representative, put them in representation levels of what actually exists in society demographically. And you can't do it because they're so infinitesimally small. In 20 of your Marvel films, you might have one person that identifies as bi. In 100 of your Marvel films, you might have one person that's transgender. They can't do that, and they can't stomach it because this is the reality of the world that we live in, and they're trying to live in some other fantasy and trying to engineer that into the real world beyond film.
Exactly, it's social engineering. They're trying to surround you with it so that you become accustomed to, and not even just you, because they've written off the adults. They think that they can get this into the heads of children. That's
they're actively trying. Like I say, if you think it's bad now, wait till this year. Especially turn Pride Month is going to get increasingly, let's just say, bombarded towards the children this year. But another point I just wanted to make with culture, what you just said, that's another point you were talking about with why entertainment just isn't as fun as it was before. Back then, you had 31 studios making all the film entertainment content. That was going back to the 1980s. So yeah, 31 then. Now you're down to about 5. You have Disney, Paramount, Sony, you have Comcast, and then you have Warner Brothers. And then they're talking about the possibility of Warner Brothers getting bought by Comcast in the next few years. So you might be down to 4 before the decade is over. So this is another problem. You only have like a handful of corporations who control everything you watch on television, and then you wonder why you don't have a diversity of content anymore. Like, this is why.
Well, another thing too is that it always goes back to bad writing. Too, because you had Naomi, which was a good comic, and they took this character who could have been great, and they completely ruined her. And it seemed intentional. I mean, everything from over sexualizing her, she is supposed to be a child, and they have her basically in some sort of romantic relationship with every other character in the show who's supposed to be her friend, destroyed her relationship with her family, especially her father, when they were very close in the comic. I mean, it was just the things they're doing. It's not, you can't even blame it on the character or some effort at diversity. It's just they're terrible people at the helm, and they're using these IPs and they're using these characters to at one point and to some extent destroy the characters, to hate on the fan base who they know enjoy the characters or enjoy these types of stories, and socially engineer their own reality. And it's not going to work.
It's the same thing with Velma. They spit in your face as a fan base of this beloved property, and then when you complain about it, they try to label you as the problem for because you don't like getting spit on. It's
yeah,
like,
7% of the audience like the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I watched it. I'm going to keep telling the story until it's not relevant anymore. But the boss and I was up at 5:30 in the morning. We were in bed watching the first 30 seconds of this show. I'm like writing my notes, and the boss was like not happy. We got to 5 minutes by my third pause, and she's like, "I'm out. I'm out." And you know what? I don't blame her, because I watched that show, and in the first 30 seconds, there are 3 patriarchy mentions.
Mm-hmm.
Fight the patriarchy mentions. Then we get to this stupid, crazy, weird, naked cartoon thing, right? And I'm okay with naked boob stuff, but that's not what the show was ever about. It's not what anything was ever about. And now I'm watching freaking Porkies in this Velma show.
Which is teenagers, by the way. Yeah,
but Disney's doing the same thing, right? Disney's just doing it in a different way, a slightly less obvious way, but it's the same thing. And it's one of those weird it's one of those weird things where you're going, none of these things fit together. It's like giving you a puzzle that has no pieces in it that match. It's from in that puzzle box where you got 400 pieces is from 400 different things, and none of them are going to fit together. And that's what every single piece of content coming out of Hollywood right now, with the exception of very few. I mean, I'll say Top Gun Maverick, Megan I watched, although that has, by the way, there was some intersectional messaging in that, but it didn't really matter because the writing was good.
I didn't even catch it.
Say again?
I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. But I'm just, but it's there. It's there, but it doesn't matter. The story was good. Everything about it was good. The cinematography was good. It was laid out well. I have no complaints about that film, other than there are a few things they could have done to kick it up. I understand that there is an unreleased version of it in R that will come out at some point in time when we get it on physical media. But the film itself was a good time horror film. It wasn't a great film. It wasn't a spectacular film. It was a good, entertaining film. That's the stuff we need. You know, and you were talking about it, Jacob. We need mid-level entertainment. We need the B movie. We need the mid-budget stuff. There's never going to be another Harry Met Sally if these studios are not willing to look at mid-level ranges. Every single mid-level movie that comes from one of the Disney nameplates had a chance at being a blockbuster. If you just go back in time, look at the Touchstone films, look at the Hollywood Pictures films, all
New
that
Line
stuff.
Cinema.
Yeah, New Line. You know, you TriStar, all that stuff. You had all these mid-budget nameplates. They made great content, and occasionally one of them would just boom, and you went from this, you know, this little middle of the road $40-50 million budget film. It would go boom, and it would that was great. Yep. And then we look at like the low budget stuff. Like we're going to look at, well, in considering modern days, look at what the Joker did on $55 million.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That you're not paying attention. You can't make multiple $200 million films and make a profit anymore. Disney is the perfect example of that this year. Disney lost money this year.
But that's their own fault, though. How do you lose money and you own Star Wars?
How do you lose money if you own the MCU? I mean, there's a laundry list of that, Jane.
Yeah.
They need to lose these properties. That's what
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Like, the best part of Netflix when it first came out is you got all those B-level movies. If you remember in 2005, there was the Dorito commercial with the really good-looking girl. Well, they gave that girl a movie, and it was on Netflix. It was called Who's Your Daddy? And she was basically a centerfold. And this young kid's dad dies, I think, and he gets the whole empire. So he's like having to figure out how to do it. And this, like, the Doritos girl was the one teaching him how to do it. And the whole time he was in love with this girl that he went to school with his whole life, like the best friend. And that was, I love that movie. I watched it until it got off Netflix. I watched it maybe like 100 times. And it also has my favorite Chris Pratt movie, which I'm not going to say what exactly the plot of that one is, because it's not YouTube appropriate, but it's called Deep in the Valley, and it's the funniest thing ever. It has Denise Richards, it has the guy who plays Shooter McGavin, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff. There's a line about crayons that is very inappropriate and hilarious at the same time. But it's just Netflix used to be a whole bunch of B movies, and they were just so good, and then they bought and got everything else, and now it's like you don't get to watch any of the B movies anymore. They're like gone everywhere.
Like I said, this is another important reason why I said earlier this week too. It's like we gotta figure out a way to break up the lines of distribution, because making a movie, I don't say that making a movie is easy, but that's really the easy part of creating a film for the masses to see. You got to figure out a way to distribute these movies, and the mega corporations have all the control in the distribution. I mean, they're the ones that negotiate with the movie theaters and all the other outlets and stuff like that. So it's hard to kind of break that chain, but you're not going to get real quality entertainment the way that we used to decades ago until we figure out the way to break up that distribution line.
Can I ask a question, Jacob and Jane and in Biggles, real quick?
Why Biggles?
Well, I don't know. I had to throw him in here. He's on the panel. But anyway, if you sorry, but anyway, if you think about it, making the movie is not the hard part. Getting the money is hard part number one. Distribution is hard part number two, right? So some people think we can conquer hard part number one with crowdfunding and crypto, like blockchain, right?
Yeah.
They think you can conquer it there, and that's quite possible. You can crowdfund a film. I think that's more than a little bit possible. I think some people have done it, but I think the distribution thing is the hard thing. And if I were going to talk to any billionaire right now, I'd be like, we need a distributor for original entertainment that isn't Hollywood. And I think that conversation might be best had with people who are trying to do it already, like Daily Wire, although I don't think they're properly equipped. I think you got to talk to somebody who has like an ulterior motivation.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that off base or is that wrong?
No, you got to get someone with some money and some capital to invest in this, because I mean it's going to be a long, hard fight. And look, I appreciate what the Daily Wire is trying to do, but they can't be the only one. We can't expect them to be the only one to create quality entertainment moving forward. We're going to need a lot more. Like I said, we went from 31 to 4. We need to somehow figure out a way to get back up to that 31 number. And until then, we won't see things change. But yeah, in order to do that, it's going to take some people with some money and the right intentions to be like, hey, look, we need to figure out some kind of way to chip away at this Hollywood system, maybe create a system outside of that so that we don't have to deal with them anymore. So
I think the other thing too is that Daily Wire is kind of a niche thing. Like, I don't know if they want to expand, but they have a particular market. And we can use more markets, not more markets, but more platforms, more studios doing their own thing.
Yeah, Jane, this is a good question. I want to ask you this question because you brought it up. Is it because of the perception that Daily Wire's politics? Would it be better if they just created a separate slate brand and distribution pathway? I think so. I don't know.
I think so, but I don't think they want to. Like, I think it's important to them that they have this sort of, not even so. I mean, it's politics too, but it seems to be a very strong Christian foundation. So it reminds me a lot of some of the smaller Christian studios we used to see that would put out religious films.
Right.
I don't even know if they're still around, but
there's
like,
several of them still.
Peerflix not too long ago.
Out what would be typically mainstream entertainment.
Yeah, Peerflix not too long ago was doing a couple of decent Christian films, but I think they just got bought out by like Lionsgate or Sony or one of those two.
Well, and here's the weird thing, right? We have what's her name, Candace Cameron Bure.
Yeah, Great American Family.
And that seems to be doing rather well. So can they expand on what they're doing and get into theatrical distribution? I don't know. But here's the weird thing: I don't want politically aligned studios. I want studios. I want new studios. I want studios that are interested in making good entertainment and making money. And I think a lot of people are starting to arrive at that same conclusion. I just don't know how we go about getting it there. I think it's going to take the collaboration of a lot of us. Like, for example, I'm going to put it this way. If I win the $1 billion+ Mega Million thing, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to start a studio. I'm going to start a studio, and I'm going to contribute to building entertainment, because to me that's the most important thing. We need to fight back against it. The only way to fight back against it is to create and distribute content.
I don't mind the niche studios. I think they serve a purpose, because if they get too diverse, what can end up happening is that they lose their identity and they start losing the creation of and prioritizing those kinds of films that their audience wants to see. Like, I like Daily Wire being what it is, but I think we need other studios to do other things. And I think the more the better.
I think you're right. And I highlighted that comment, and I just want to say this. If you look demographically at the breakdown, you have minority overrepresentation in films that have no ideological bent, which is very strange. Like Top Gun Maverick, you saw a demographic pop outside of the normal representation going to that film. You're going to see more and more of that, and I don't want to get into the racial aspects of it all, but I do want to highlight the fact that people just want good stories and they want to be entertained, and it doesn't matter what their pigment is. It doesn't.
That's something I would warn like anybody who's thinking about getting into like filmmaking as well, because I know with all of the movies out there that have ideologies that are so far to the left, you have that natural reaction. Well, we need to start making our own movies that are far to the right, or we start being right-wing movies. It's like, no, if you just start doing good, entertaining movies, like you'll make so much more ground just by doing that, rather than trying to go ideology based.
You realize this is the weird thing I'm going to say, and you agree or disagree with me. I'm just curious. I think Jane could take just elements of her life experience, write it down, and work with a writer like Script Doctor or something, and create a fantastic film. And maybe not even a direct representation of her life, but I think that and it's funny because I run across creators all the time, and I'm thinking, you have amazing stories. Why can't you take advantage of those? Is there not a way?
That's the thing, is that there's so many untapped stories out there.
Yeah.
That they're not really getting into. Like, for example, like, it's always frustrating, like being from Louisiana, right? We have this history and this culture that's very different from the rest of the United States.
Yeah.
And you would be amazed at some of the things they could put on screen. But nobody wants to do it, or when they do, they have to include their ideology, which twists it and turns it into something else. So it's unfortunate, but there's so much you could do, because I can just think of millions of stories that I've heard just growing up, that you can just see walking through the streets. It's just, I don't know, it's untapped resources.
But you're right, Jane, and that's the thing I'm kind of talking about, because people who grow up in Louisiana are within something called a parish law system. Right? People don't understand parishes, right? Or at least outside of Louisiana. And so I think there's so much there. And when it does when it does enter storytelling, it's not entering it as the primary. There's very few films that actually feature that. I can think of like maybe only 3. And one of them only tangentially, because it was the JFK story and how that all came together. But I go through my Rolodex in my mind of the films that would even touch on the subject, and I feel like that's untapped.
Even
I feel
in
like
fantasy, that's one of the reasons why I so much wanted a Gambit movie.
Oh,
but at the same time, it's like I don't, because there's no telling what they would do.
But you've seen the Gambit fan film thing, right?
Which one?
Rogue. What's that called, Biggles? Do you remember what that's called? It's on YouTube. You can find it.
I can find it.
I
think it was just.
It was incredible. It's not that long. It's like 20 minutes or less, and it is. And you would freak. The guy they got to play like Gambit is, and actually he's an actor. No. They're tangentially related to the Batman like fan film guys.
Just a quick little sidebar. Remember when Channing Tatum wanted to play Gambit? Like,
Oh
dodged
my
a bullet
God.
with that one.
I'm trying to remember. I'm honestly trying to remember the name of it because it was so good.
It's not Place for Keeps, is it?
They're sitting at a poker table. They come in and Gambit rolls in there.
Hold on.
Let's see if because it's Gambit and Rogue. You'll know if you skim around it.
Is it that one?
Yeah, and he goes full on. Let me check it out. I'll be right back.
Well, while we're looking at that, I wanted to jump back into the Ant-Man discussion real quick because I think it's also goes into the talk about the reshoots, and obviously that's been a big discussion. When I heard the story about that, they were reshooting because they wanted to add a more comedic tone to it because apparently it was a bit too serious, a bit too dark. I'm sitting here like, well, okay, you're telling everyone that Kang is going to be your next big bad for the next like 5 years, right? So in order to establish him as a threat that people can see on the same level as Thanos, you kind of have to establish him as a serious threat, which may mean some people need to die for the sake of, oh yeah, okay, this guy's not screwing around.
Yeah,
so it feels what?
But there's no stakes anymore in this stuff, Jacob, because of the multiverse. They made it so that everybody can die and come back again.
Or they're just another alternate version of them in some other universe.
But I mean, that's not necessarily new to the whole comic sphere, though.
No,
I think what they're doing, and this was a good point, is let it be serious. Like, let it have a different tone.
Yeah.
Let this guy be incredibly evil. Let him be irredeemable. Let him take some lives, even characters that we don't expect to die. And then that could carry you into the next film. Because what are you going to do now? How are you going to respond to this overwhelming threat? But to make it light of everything when we're told that his family is at risk of dying, like, why would you make light of that?
How about this? And I always think about this, especially over the last few years with where Marvel has headed. What if the end was Infinity War? Like, let's just say for the sake of argument that he snapped half the universe away, half of our heroes are gone and are not coming back, and they don't bring them back. How do you move forward from there when you're basically half the team that we've grown up with all these years is gone, and now we have to deal with the fallout of that? I think they touched on it maybe like the first 30 minutes or so in Endgame, but I think moving forward, rather than just be like, oh no, we could just go to different time periods and snap everyone back out. I think that would have been a much better creative direction and a much better, I guess you could say, tone direction for the series. But it seems like they don't want to leave that tone because in their mind, oh no, people love the humor and the comedy. That's what makes us our money. So we just want to keep everything like that.
No, when Spider-Man died, I was absolutely broken, and you could have left it there.
Yeah,
you could have left it there.
Mm-hmm.
But I was completely. But I'm just going to tell you, when Tony died in the film, I was done. Just done.
Which one?
Endgame.
Endgame. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Infinity War. I was like, wait a second.
No. When Tony Stark died, I was done. That's it. I'm done with this now. You can stop it now. You can give me more Spider-Man. What?
Well, here's the other thing that I'm thinking about too. It's like, it's so clear with all of these heroes that you guys are taking the male characters and replacing them with female characters. Yeah. You guys just want to do A-Force. So it's like, okay, just end the Avengers. Avengers is done, and just move on to A-Force then. Just completely move on. But they can't let go of that name value that Avengers has. But they just want to turn the Avengers into A-Force anyway. So it's like, just do it.
They don't have the courage or the will.
I mean, at this point, okay, what do we have? We have Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. You have Ghosts, Kate Bishop. You have Ironheart, America Chavez. You got Charlize Theron playing the female Doctor Strange. She-Hulk. You got Taskmaster, White Widow. Like, just if you're gonna do A-Force, just do A-Force. Like, why are we pissing in the wind for?
Because so the minute they get there, nobody's going to see it.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, that's the reason. And Jane's right, and yeah, exactly, Biggles. Jane, you're right, and Jacob, you're right. There is no will there, and the reason there's no will is because they know it'll be a colossal failure. You can put A-Force together for one scene in Endgame where it looks fucking stupid. Good job. But and completely what's the right word for that? Contrived. There you go. And Yeah, and you're like looking at it and you go, okay, how did all that come together? Oh, it's completely contrived. That is not a moment that would naturally happen. But whatever. And so you're like, oh, here comes A-Force. Okay, so you bring A-Force out here and it's a colossal failure. Are you going to attack your fan base one more time?
Yeah.
That seems to be the marketing strategy for Disney now, right?
But its diminishing returns are escalating at an incredible rate.
But whose fault is that? They're the ones who aren't investing in their own character.
And just because that's true doesn't mean they're going to stop.
You know what really annoyed me the most about that A-Force scene or whatever in Endgame?
Yeah.
Wasp was already with Ant-Man. How did she get back and be like, oh, now we have to go back to where I was to bring this to Scott?
Oh, I'm sorry, Big O. Are you complaining about continuity errors in a $300 million movie?
Yes. Because it doesn't make any sense. You fucking. Why is she there? Like, and
why
like,
are any of them there together, side by
Yeah.
side, for no reason?
So
dumb. For those of you in the chat, Biggles did find the film I was referring to. It's called Gambit Play for Keeps. It's from 2020. It's unofficial. It's by Nick Bateman. And it is amazing. And if I were going to do Gambit, have you seen that, Jane? Have you seen it?
I'm looking at it now. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. So if they had a full studio behind this entire concept, I swear this would make tons of money. Because Gambit's also one of my favorite characters.
I
Right?
still prefer Taylor Keefe. Like, he will be my Gambit until the day.
I know, I know, but this film is
Yeah, you have to find him now. When was the last movie you've seen him in?
He was in that movie that was a hit on Prime.
Yeah, Bush has it queued up. That's right. It's great. And again, I mean, consider this was done on like micro budget, and it has people in it. I mean, Julia Roberts' brother's in it. Eric Roberts, yeah, and he's great. I mean, there's so many great people in this. You're like going, wait, I know that guy. I know that guy. I know that guy. It's like they all came together for like $150 to make this film. It was like, crazy. But I feel like there's so much better out there. Everybody has better ideas. What's the Batman studio that does all the cool stuff?
The animation studio?
No. The ones that the fan studio. They like the Batman that laughs or whatever. They've done some really cool stuff. I think Nerdrotic showed it one time on a Friday Night Tights. But I'm one of those people that I love good stuff, and we haven't had any in a long time. So when good, decent things come along, like Megan, or like I really loved Top Gun Maverick. I thought the Spider-Man No Come Home was good.
You're right too about the fan films. Nathan Fillion in the Uncharted fan film.
Boom.
Absolutely epic.
See, and then you compare it to like I spent $300 million. Okay, I spent $200 million on Uncharted Sony film, and it's like, what is happening right now?
Ugh. But that just shows you how little they actually care. When you put people in charge who actually love the characters and love the stories, they're going to pour their heart into it, and you can tell. Like, get some of these people who are making great fan films and give them money and just leave them alone. That's all you have to do.
Well, look, I'm sorry, but Joe creator, God, his name just fell out of my head. I don't know why. But the guy that just did the Joker film for $55 million, give him money.
The director or the writer?
Yeah, the writer or director team there. And again, they're making a musical in the next one. I'm going to be like,
Todd Phillips, right?
Are they serious about that, or is that a joke?
Yeah, no, it's real.
Really?
Yeah, there's going to be music bits in it. It's all going to be in somebody's head, though. I can't. No. Jane, don't make me spoil the film for everybody.
Just spoil it. Sounds crazy.
It is bonkers.
Yeah, I'm not very high on the whole let's put Lady Gaga in and make her sing either.
I'm just telling you, you're going to be surprised. Yeah, thank you, Todd Phillips. Yeah, everybody's.
Oh my
thank
gosh.
You guys. Hey, you're gonna love it though, Gene. I think it's gonna be weird. It's kooky madooky. Probably the best way to describe it. It's gonna be fun.
I just don't like Lady Gaga.
But here's the weird thing, right? They're not trying to make multiple Jokers, right? But they're trying to make 7,000 Batman.
Yeah. And there's no multiverse that these Batman are going to come together because Ezra Miller ruined that.
So far, I like the different Batman. So.
Well, the Batman Who Laughs, I don't think that's a fan film because I have the comics for the Batman Who Laughed, or at least the Shazam one, where Shazam.
I'm trying to remember. But okay, but the fan films based on it, I think. Let me see if I can find it. You guys are gonna make me crazy.
I can look it up, Culture. Well, you can. Still
I think
run
the
it.
Marvels too may have a musical sequence because of the.
Oh God! Why did you remind me of that?
Wow, is she gonna do the whole Bollywood dance that she did in that?
No, she's gonna sing. That's even worse.
Yeah.
No,
have you guys?
She was good in Scott Pilgrim. I'm sorry, it's the only character I've ever believed her in.
Have any of you guys ever seen the Brie Larson music video that's been on YouTube for like 15 years?
No.
That's what she's gonna do.
All right.
Like Brie Larson singing makes like Ashley Simpson sound like fucking Freddie Mercury. I swear to God.
Bat in the Sun. Oh. That's right. Shinatsky got it. It's the Bat in the Sun. Look up the Bat in the Sun, Biggles, because that guy does that. Thank you, Shinatsky. Shinatsky gets $1. I don't. Shinatsky, figure out a way I can get you $1.
Marvels. That's one that's gonna fail.
Hard.
That's not only that, but that's their biggest film of the summer. Like that's the one they're booking in their whole MCU summer success on.
Okay. So outside of Guardians, right? Is there one film you think has any prayer of making money in Phase 5?
I mean, we're already talking about reshoots for Ant-Man 3 like weeks beforehand.
The 7th and the 8th, they were still shooting film. Those aren't pickups, kids. Pickups are different. These are freaking reshoots because they have a story problem.
Or they, or what may have happened, especially if you're talking about them adding humor, it probably was good, and now they're destroying it because it was actual quality.
That's what I said when I hear they're going to make it more comedic and more lighthearted. It's like, no, that's not what I want.
Wrong direction. Pivot.
Especially since I know your idea of comedy is going to be fucking terrible.
Yeah, turn around.
Please. Somebody is challenging me right now. They say Brie Larson can't sing. Look. She did a great job once.
Okay. I mean, I changed a tire once in my life. I wouldn't call myself a mechanic.
Cocaine
every now and then
it's gonna make money.
Yeah, dying is easy. Dying is easy is really good. Okay, I gave you one for the Gambit, and I just gave you one called Dying is Easy from Bat in the Sun. Great fan films. Great. And you have an old man Batman in the Bat in the Sun one there. It is good. He's in a mental mind game with the Joker. You're going to love it. Check these things out. They're freaking beautiful in this world.
Remember that 10-minute Thomas Jane Punisher short that came out years ago?
Yes. It's one of those things. Hey, grumpy old Ninja Kintaro. What's up, man? No, but it's like, yeah, there's so much of that. The guys I knew made Batman Beyond a long time ago. Yeah. Someday I'll be able to tell some of the stories that I know. But, it's like if I could get some of the people I know together again to make films, I'd be rich. I'd be David O. Selznick. I would. And like, I don't.
Maybe some of the rich people who understand that there's a problem could just, I don't know, put their money together.
Well, they're trying. Okay, so right now, and this is, I don't have the story up and I don't know where it is and it doesn't matter. But Jane, can you imagine if you get Loeb, Peter Thiel, and Peltz together? Because Peltz is the guy trying to fight this proxy for Disney to get like the boards moved around.
Mm-hmm.
You get those 3 billionaire dudes who are investors that, can easily drop $1 billion into Disney. You don't think they can get shit done? Because there's a lot of retail investors that are pissed at Disney.
There should be. But they're ignoring them, apparently.
Well, all you have to do is grant those 3 billion. You get 3 billionaires coming in and going to war with Disney. And you get regular you and me and society and Biggles stockholder guys going, you know what? I'm going to give you my proxies. it changes the landscape. I mean, you have less. Well, you have less. You still are going to have influence from the slightly darker shade of Slate investor group money. You know, who's worth like multi-trillion dollars, 17 trillion or whatever it is. But Vanguard's already out on the ESG bologna sausage, right? Then you got but when you start to like align yourself with some of these giant money things, like maybe Peter Thiel, maybe a few of these other billionaires can line up. Loeb and Peltz can line up with Vanguard. You might be able to massively shift the direction of something like Disney just by shifting the board.
Right.
So
I wonder how realistic that is.
Well, they're good. I promise you, February 8th, Disney has a stockholders meeting. February 8th. That's going to not happen in a vacuum, and I will be in the audience listening to that. So what I think could happen is a vote right in that area, somewhere in those dates, because they've already tried to cover the wagons. They already have everybody that's aligned with the new world in there. I mean, that's why they just put Nike forced labor guy. Wow, my glasses are way crooked. Parker in there. You know, that guy's never seen a forced labor camp he doesn't like. And you know, that works perfectly with Disney because they apparently enjoy working next to forced labor camps. Films like
who else makes their toys?
So are you saying that Disney probably won't be announcing they're spending $7 billion on WWE in February?
Dude, they don't have any money. Oh, God, this thing makes me crazy. You do this every time now. They do not have the money.
I said, look, you know that, I know that, but like I said, you're dealing with people within this community who does not understand that because they're being told, oh no, Disney's the front runner. They'll spend $7 billion on this.
I said this now. Disney reportedly, I'm going to keep saying it. Disney reportedly is the front runner. They do not have any money to do this. It is more likely that the Saudis, with a $9 billion offer that nobody will in their right mind match, is going to do this deal. There are no studios that are going to buy this. The only two players here that could actually go out and buy this because they want live sports and they don't want to lease it out, because that's what you're doing when you buy rights to shit, would be Apple and Amazon. Nobody else can buy this shit right now. They just can't.
But you're dealing with people who get their news from Dave Meltzer. Like, that's just put it in a
maybe
vacuum.
So. But okay, so Disney's close to being downgraded again. Like, this will be the fourth time in like 3 years that they've gone. You can't do that.
I mean, weren't they just talking about selling off ESPN and ABC just a couple of weeks ago? It's like, how are you going to spend $7 billion on WWE? Then what network are you going to put it on if you're going to sell those two?
I don't. This stuff makes me crazy. You know that, right? Because I'm like going. You don't understand the economics of what's happening in some of these right now, and it's not positive going forward.
Oh my God! Can you imagine a pitch meeting right now where Saudi Arabia buys a Star Wars?
Dude,
they're trying to explain why all these women are in this.
All of them like randomly die, and he's like, "Okay, this is Luke Skywalker. He's still alive."
I guarantee you it'd be better than anything Disney put out.
Probably.
Yeah, the shout that you should open new studios. You're not wrong, and that's the thing is like there is. There
are a ton of Saudi princes. One of them is in this community, I'm sure.
Yeah,
we know
for
Come over
sure.
here and open some studios for us.
Well, you know what's funny? If you remember back in like 2000, I think it was 2018, Hollywood actually did try to court the Saudi Arabian government. They even like brought out the prince to like mingle with like The Rock and like all these other like Hollywood bigwigs and stuff because they knew that they were losing money from China and they wanted Saudi Arabia to replace them. And they were actually on pace to make a deal, but then that Khashoggi guy got chopped up in 17 pieces. Then everything just slowly just went away. Because remember they made a big deal about, oh, Black Panther is going to be the first movie released in Saudi Arabia in how many years? And they were ready to go all in on Saudi until that happened. And then they have to pretend like, oh no, we hate Saudi Arabia. We would never do business with them. It's like, you just courted them like 3 years ago. Like, just stop lying.
They need to they need to stop playing. The Saudis have money. Okay?
They do. Well,
yeah.
Here's a weird thing. Okay,
And they
so
invested in everything.
right, and Jane, you and I understand something I'm about to say, and maybe Jacob and Douglas do as well. But the richest people list is not the richest people.
Yeah.
So if you get that list from Fortune or Barron's or whatever, or Rob Report,
put it to you this way: if you actually believe Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, you are a mark.
You're wrong.
Absolutely.
You're wrong. And again, generational wealth comes out of proper management and a proper structure and understanding of what it means. And that's why, as Jane will tell you, by the third generation business owner, somebody who's had a family that has a successful business that's grown exponentially, is likely on the verge of being in trouble very quickly because the children don't respect what was created. Mm-hmm. So it's oftentimes they will either sell the namesake or they'll lose it entirely through poor decision making.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have to have a really strong structure in place. You have to almost have a family that's run like a business.
Why do you think there's so many people trying to deconstruct families right now?
Exactly.
Yeah, I can name 6 families right now that have more money than you could possibly imagine, but I'll probably get the channel demonetized. Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, no. Scott took care of that for you.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
So
put it this way: the Saudis have an investment fund that's almost $700 billion.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and that's just a fund. Like
a singular fund.
Yeah. Like we have families that are like in America that that have like the T word.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not listed. They're not listed amongst the richest people in the world.
But here's the thing: American families are all new money compared to the Saudis.
Oh yeah, nouveau-ish. Nouveau-ish. We are very bourgeois. All right. On that note, I think we have to wrap stuff and things because we've been going for 2 hours and 10. I think Scotty only goes for 2 hours because look. I'm older than Scott and he has less stamina.
Yeah.
He's got...
real quick before we go, let me ask you guys this question because we know what the 3 MCU films are coming up. We have Ant-Man 3 around the corner, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is likely the end for them, and then we have the Marvels. Which one are you least excited and most excited for out of those 3? Contain your excitement.
Wait, say that again. Wait, what am I picking? Because I'm
least excited and most excited for out of those 3.
Give me the 3 again one more time because I'm not sure I can garner any excitement. So let's try.
Ant-Man 3, Guardians 3, and the Marvels, aka Captain Marvel 2. That's all you're getting from the MCU this year.
Not seeing Marvel.
Okay. No, go ahead, Biggles. You were going. Okay. Go.
Not seeing Marvel, and I'm not excited for any of them.
What?
Yeah. I was going to be excited for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but the MCU is dead for me. I haven't watched a movie in like 7 of them.
All right. So. Jane?
I'm excited for Guardians. I like the second one, so I'm looking forward to this. The problem is once you get excited about something, they fumble the ball. So I mean, there's nothing you can do. But Ant-Man is another one. It looks good. I like the trailer. I want to know how they're going to destroy it.
Okay, you picked up on what I was going to say.
This is the problem. What are they going to do to him?
It's toast. Well, I don't want to get into it, but okay. So look, if I were looking forward to anything, it'd be Guardians 3. But I already know what happens, unfortunately, and I'm not happy about what's going to happen.
Are you serious?
I can't say anything.
Embargo.
But anyway, I'm just gonna say this: it's still going to be better than Ant-Man and Quantumania. Quantumania is going to disappoint a lot of people. It's the worst way to start out the phase dive. I mean,
yeah.
And gosh, and they know it. That's anyway. And then I am not ever going to see the Marvels ever once.
I don't even know why they're playing with the Marvels. Nobody's going to see that. Nobody's going to see that movie.
like I said, apparently someone in Disney think that's going to be the biggest film of the year, because not only are they releasing it in the summer, there's no other MCU film for the remainder of the year after that. So they are going all in on that one.
Bad.
Guardians is it, though. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, you got, okay, so Quantumania, Guardians. God, why are they doing this with Marvels? This is the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're thinking. They haven't built these characters up. I mean, they're just boring.
Like, there's nothing. And then even if you look ahead in like 2024, what you have Captain America New World Order, which is the Black Cap movie. You have Thunderbolts, which I've been hearing rumors that Sentry or Hyperion is going to be the villain. Like, how are you going to have a Superman level villain in a group that's basically the Suicide Squad? Like, how is that even going to work?
It makes no sense.
And then Blade, which has already fired this director before it's even gotten started.
No. Like, you had 3 people leave the project before it got going. I'm like,
aren't they about to lose the star?
Ali can't save that, right? Ali can't save that film. I mean, I know he's great and all, but he can't save that film.
And this is Phase 5. All those movies we just mentioned are Phase 5 in its entirety.
So they just don't care anymore.
Well, Lucasfilm's done. I already called this like months ago, like before Willow came out, because I had like some early information on what was happening there.
But what happened to the Old Republic? Weren't they going to have a whole new set of TV shows?
What about that Ryan Johnson trilogy? Is that still?
Look, Lucasfilm's dead. The Indiana Jones 5's gonna kill it. I mean, it was dead already, but they're literally putting this thing in a pit and setting it on fire. Along with all the money they've dumped at it. But is there anything Disney related that's going to be good this year? That's the next question.
I mean, they've burned their bridge with Star Wars fans. They're burning their bridge with Marvel fans. The animation studio is toast, especially after the last year they just had. So, I mean, what property does Disney own right now that you're actually any kind of way excited for in the future?
The only thing that could maybe be a good thing is Ahsoka.
I mean, you may like that character, but you also have to remember who's producing that. So.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni.
That's the problem.
Like, look, I've been bitching and crying for a Tombstone appearance somewhere in Marvel, especially if you can get someone like Michael Jai White to actually do Tombstone. But I've gotten to the point with a lot of these properties where it's like, I don't even want you guys to do it anymore because I know you're going to screw it up.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so if you're looking for redemption in a middling streaming service television program, that's a sign of a sign of, it's bad. But anyway, I just want to say I'm grateful to Scott for trusting me with the opportunity to run this show once again, and I've had an incredible panel here this evening. Courtesy of him. Jane, I miss you so deeply. You're so great and you're so very talented, and I love catching your stuff, and I know you're just so big time compared to the rest of them.
I'm not at all.
Stop being nice to Jane. She needs more people to be mean to her. Like,
I can't be. This is one of my friends. We started off like around the same time, so we're like, it is weird. And then, of course, Jacob, you've been so influential on so many different things that I've been involved in. I appreciate you. And Biggles, well, you're our slow cousin.
I'm just the eye candy, okay? I've been told all I am is good for is to be easy on the eyes.
Biggles and I are good friends, and we love hanging out together. So I really appreciate seeing
Biggles is going to be Rick Rude this Halloween. Just throwing it out there.
Well, but I just want to say thank you to Grant and to Tom and obviously Sporkin, who decided that his gastronomical concerns were more important than his show, which I don't blame him. I mean, there are moments when you kind of want to not have to reupholster your chair.
I ate 14 cheeseburgers and now my tummy hurt.
All right. So on that note, we're going to start with Biggles because he apparently also is having a lot of jelly bean reaction or something going on. So he's got to get out of here. What's Biggles? You want to promote a thing or stuff and things or anything?
Sure. I just do video game playthroughs basically, and then every now and then I read articles, which apparently won't get me monetized when I get to.
Don't do that
when I get there, because I like to make fun of game journalists because they're like, "This is way too hard." So it's just Bagels
like
Mets.
my life.
Yeah, YouTube.com/BagelsMets. That's it. That's all it is.
And
I do a lot of them.
And he's fun. Don't tell anybody. Jacob, you are crushing the universe right now with your I watch more movies than you moments.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be working on posting like 5 1-minute reviews tomorrow, so that should be pretty fun trying to get those out. But as far as my channel goes, Society Reviews on YouTube, this Monday, myself, Rob Motto, Rick Aragorn, we're gonna be reviewing 3 movies: House Party, A Man Named Otto, and Plane, all in one show. So that should be fun. And then I think episode number 32 of the Barroom Podcast is on Tuesday night, 9 p.m. And I don't know exactly what the topics are gonna be right now, but I'm pretty sure Velma's going to be one of them. So,
Jane, you are a goddess amongst us. Tell us what you're doing because it's always great.
Oh, you can find me on YouTube where I post movie, TV reviews, occasionally some pop culture commentary. I'm also on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much everywhere else at Jane Theory. So catch me on there. The latest thing I have is Sunday Fun Day with Az and the Gang on twitch.tv/Jane Theory at 2 p.m. Central Standard tomorrow. So definitely check that out.
Excellent. And just a reminder, all these wonderful creators, Scott's going to make sure their links are down below if they're not already. Make sure you're subscribed to them and everybody else that was here this evening. And of course, my hetero life mate, Tom, who, is basically, the coolest guy ever. Okay. On that note, yeah, he's Tom. And on that note, I am Culture Casino. I have a channel. Check it out on YouTube and Rumble and Odyssey and places. I post videos every weekday. I post I do live streams. I have the 6-minute daily every weekday. I do stuff. I'm in a lot of places and I get to hang out with my friends. I have the best job in the world, and it's all because of you, the audience that we have out there, and I think Scott would agree. We appreciate you, each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And with that, I'm going to hit a button. Scott, what does Scott do for an outro? You guys know?
Play some video.
Is it
Somebody help me. I think I have the monkey flu. Check it out.
Was that
That's
it?
racist.
Was that it?
Sure.
Ezra Miller's on the run. It's another day and it's another one. He's some serial groomer trash. Now, how can Warner Brothers sell the Flash? And I wonder. I wonder.
Was that
I
it?
love Mark with the C.
Was that it? Did I hit the right button?
Sounds like it. I don't know.
No. This one says Mad's favorite.
And it is a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Yeah, he's a big fan of Jerry Jones, so right, you can understand why. Wait, no, I know this is it. This is it. We're really gonna maybe. I don't know.
Tea's gone cold, I wonder why. And I can't feel it all. I'll be great. Put your picture on my wall.
Aluminum.
That is not so bad. It's not so bad. Here's videos of guys who were not on the show tonight.